agree. I hope you sabi it. It's your boy N-O-R-E.
What up, it's DJ EFN.
And this is Drink Champs motherfucking Yappy Hour. Make some noise! And right now, when we started this show, we said we wanted to interview legends. And right now, this person in front of us is not only a media legend, she is a radio legend. She is a hip hop historian. She's probably one of the only people who've got to interview Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Nas, and Jay-Z. She's got the Floyd Mayweather of radio contracts.
Oh.
She was raised out in Brooklyn, but lived out in Queens. Lived out in Queens, but was raised out in Brooklyn.
True that.
At one point. She has constantly stayed on top. If you need to get hot, you need to get your point across, you gotta come see her. Or you're nobody, you're the gum under the table.
Man, that's low.
If you don't get an Angie Martinez classic interview, you're the gum under the table. No one really likes you. I just want to throw that out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're talking about the one and only Angie Martinez, the voice of the Now, you were predestined to be who you are. Your mother worked in radio.
She did.
Is that so?
First of all, I'm so happy to be here, by the way.
Oh, let's make some noise. Let's make some noise.
I have some criticisms, but we'll talk
Okay, no
about
problem.
that.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Come on.
She's gonna backtrack on us.
I have some early criticisms, but I'm gonna hold them.
I'm
gonna try not to host anything.
I would like to
Be a guest.
apologize for my Dominican friend trying to take your drink to the bathroom. It was awkward.
Pour me a drink. It was wrong. Then he took it to the bathroom. I don't take my drink to the bathroom.
Something happened there.
We were not proud of that moment.
And then I went to use the restroom. I can tell you don't have that many girls here.
No,
many girl guests. Because
It wasn't to your liking? It wasn't pleasant?
No, the toilet seat was up. You left the toilet seat up. There was no like paper towels to clean my. It was like it was a guy's bathroom.
You know what I noticed about when like guys and girls use the same bathroom?
Yeah.
Like the girls, you guys won't let y'all just piss on the toilet. Y'all won't let that shit touch at all. Y'all just stand there.
No, you stay in your spot.
Y'all perfect squatters.
I'm gonna get you but I'm gonna add to the Drink Champs bathroom.
Okay, yeah,
I'm gonna get you a candle.
Okay.
And some hand towels.
Some potpourri?
Some hand towels.
You know, we only had 4 girls on Drink Champs.
Yeah.
We had Amber Rose.
This is the third
Trina,
solo.
Angela Yee. This is the third solo. Yeah. Then you came because Angela Yee came with Envy.
With Envy.
Yeah.
And then with T.I.
I tried to bring.
not
I tried to bring Pac out. You wouldn't let me.
No, because
and
we wanted to get you because you're important. So let's
All right,
get to the beginning.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna let you be.
Okay, and you really do have a whole lime in your drink. That's hard.
Well, because y'all don't even have garnishes for the drink.
Because Mr. Lee's been it like a grenade, man.
I was like, yo, can I get some lime in my drink? He gave me a whole lime. So I just threw the whole shit in. It's a whole lime.
He just thought you might appreciate the entire lime in there.
Okay, so Moms is working at radio. So
Yeah.
you get the urge from that or?
No, I'm a baby. My mother was like, I come from one of those families where, your moms was trying to get out of certain situations. So my whole family lived uptown. They lived in Washington Heights. My mother took me,
Wait, Puerto Ricans in Washington?
And your mom is Cuban too, right?
My mother is Cuban, Puerto Rican, and Dominican.
Look at that.
All three.
There's Cubans everywhere.
Holy moly.
My mother is Cuban, Puerto Rican.
Holy moly. You are Drink Champs.
Yeah, you're cousins. We're cousins.
Huh?
Yeah.
We're related?
Yeah, so uptown.
So my family's uptown in Washington Heights, Inwood, Washington Heights, right? Wow. So if you know anything about New York, you're from New York, you know that.
Yeah.
My mother took me my whole family's up there. The stop is like 200, Dykeman and Seaman, whatever. We had to take the train. She moved us to Brooklyn, but not just Brooklyn, like the last stop on the F train, like by Coney Island.
Like so the Warriors, where they ended up?
That's where we were. So
Right.
me and my mother moved to Brooklyn, and my whole family, the rest of my family was there, because my mother was trying to find a way to you know what I mean? So she got a job. First at Polygram Records, she was like a receptionist there, and then she worked her way to radio, and she was never on the air. She was like she worked in the office.
Like behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, yeah. But I grew up hearing conversations about radio. I always tell that story. My mother was like, I remember her talking about radio jocks, like people on the air, and she was complaining about somebody that he loved the sound of his own voice. And she was saying she hated people who just love the sound of their own voice. Like they just want to talk to be talking. Right. And I always remembered that. even later, like when I would be on the air, like to make sure that I'm not just talking for myself. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that I'm like, yeah, it was real. It stayed with me. So I grew up in that type of environment.
You got the bug from then.
I got the bug from that. And then when I was 16, she was coming up in her career. She had been a music director. She got me an internship at the radio station. And then I got an internship at Hot. I was 18. And then I just grew up there. That was like where I grew up, at the radio station.
At the radio station.
Yeah.
Let me stop you there because let me just tell you something. Now this is completely not rehearsed. Who was your top 5?
Top 5 what?
MCs of all time.
This is such a random
It
segue.
changes. It varies.
Okay,
a little bit.
just
But I
give
would
me-
say like Rakim, Nas, Ice Cube, Big L, Big Pun.
Does it scare you that like almost everybody's top 5 you probably interviewed?
Does it scare me? No, I think that's amazing.
I think it's amazing too. Goddamn, I'm excited. But literally, like when I said that just now, like giving your intro, and I thought about it, like Eminem is people's top 5, Jay-Z is in people's top 5, Nas is in people's top 5, Biggie's in people's top 5, Tupac, and you literally,
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm super grateful for that.
It just hit me just now when I said
And I
that.
imagine
was
it's not changing because you're still in the
Well,
business
that's
interviewing
that's
young
probably,
people's top 5.
That's
whatever,
probably
young-
what I'm more proud of is
Right.
that I could sit down across from
generationally
somebody now
top
who
5,
last week I did like Blueface and
Right.
and,
Yeah, I saw that.
and you know I had a really big interview with Tekashi before he went away, of
Oh, yeah,
course.
you
and-
asked him if he know how to rap, and he said no.
Yeah.
He admitted that
he did.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that interview. But that's probably what I'm most proud of is that yes, I have those like classic moments, and I was lucky enough to come up at a time when Jay was starting his career, and you know Nas was around and Wu-Tang. I probably all those artists were coming up while I was coming up. But
Let me ask you a question. What I thought was very interesting.
Shoot.
One time, Elliot
I'm
Wilson.
so proud of you, Nori. You're such a
You're trying to be professional. I'm
you're
trying
so
not to
professional.
I'm trying not to get that off. But listen, so one time, when I wanted to do this.
This
I wanted-
watermelon Ciroc is not terrible.
Nah, that shit is good. That
pretty
shit is
good.
good.
It's my
actually.
club soda that you put in
So-
there. That's what's
so-
making
It's
it.
either that or it's the entire line.
It's
Sitting in the
The
middle of my
immersed
drink.
line is what's making it great.
So I remember reading Elliot Wilson one day, and he said that he had to come to the realization that, he didn't want to be friends with these artists because he didn't want.
That's a lie. Elliot's friends with mad artists.
No, I know that now, but this is back in the day.
Okay.
What,
That
double
this-
X, what was he at?
This is
Double
the Double
XL?
XL where he had
Right.
to realize that he was not only a fan of Hove, but then he was also a friend. So he had to do that.
Distance
Did you
himself.
ever have to like?
Charlamagne and I have that conversation because Charlamagne came up under Wendy.
Yes.
And Wendy was always like, you can't be friends with the artist. You have to be. And I was always like, it's not about who your friend. Like, I'm not anti-artist or anti-listener or anti-fan. Like, I'm pro-culture, pro
Right.
the culture, right?
Right.
So I never subscribed to that. Like, we're all people. We're all trying to do right by the
Right.
culture. So I never really got that theory of like, you can't be friends. Yes, you can be
Right.
friends. Doesn't mean you can't tell your friend that was whack what you did or
Right.
or how we gonna move past that. You want what's best, right? So I never really subscribed to you can't be friends with
But that's
people.
probably the problem. Not everybody is for the culture, pro culture. They're thinking in a different way. They're trying to get got you questions or they're being journalists in that kind of way.
I know, unfortunately, that's the time we're in. Are you trying to do that with me right now?
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
what's
no,
happening?
no, no,
I'm just kidding.
That's what the liquor does on its own.
No. We see.
Is that why you gave me a whole cup of vodka
No,
and
no.
a big lime?
To tell you the truth, you know what we did. What we did was we wanted to, so many times you get 10 years in this game, they kick you right out of here. They call you washed up. They say you whatever. And I wanted to, we wanted to give a platform to people that got these 10 years and is aging like wine. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just because you have 10 years, it doesn't mean you're washed up. You know what I'm saying? Vince Carter's going on his like 23rd season. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying like, so where was the platform for us in hip hop? So this is what we want to do. We want to give people their flowers. Like, John Singleton had just passed away, and I actually had footage of us, saying to him, yo, we love you, brother. Everything you did was great. So we want to do the same thing for you, Ange. We want to let you know how dope you are and how
Thank you, man.
you had one of the most craziest interviews because I remember New York kind of felt bad, felt confused because at one point when Pac and Big was going through it, like when Pac said a certain thing, it was like it was on. And then did you actually fly to Cali to get that Tupac interview?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Was that the
did.
Bay Area or that was actually
No, it was
Los Angeles?
It was his house. I went to his apartment and
In
shot
LA?
it. And we didn't shoot it. It wasn't. People always think I have this pocket
Yeah,
video.
this is a picture.
There's
This
no
is a
video.
picture.
It's just we took a couple pictures, but it's just audio. I had
Right.
it was like me by myself with like a little machine like this big and a microphone. Like
By yourself.
yeah, excuse me. Why did
Right.
like
Right.
in a room with probably more people than this?
Right.
I never traveled to the West Coast. I'm 20-something years old. This is my first big interview.
And you know what he says at the beginning of the interview? He says, we gotta be wealthy. Hip hop gotta be wealthy. We
yeah,
gotta
he's
have
like, no more performing in coffee shops. Like we need
Yo.
money because we need to change these hood. Like he had great ideas
Right.
about
That was
changing.
with Nipsey Hussle. Like when I
Yeah,
listen, I'm
100%.
trying to be a good interviewer. So I go and I listen to it, and what he said was like what Nipsey was doing.
Totally.
That shit kind of like it was.
Well, those are Pac seeds, if anything. He
that's
planted
very
those
true.
seeds,
100%.
yeah.
That's very true. That's a great
100%.
point. That's a great point. Holy
You know, I
moly.
never got to interview Nip.
You never got to interview.
And we
him?
almost did.
We did it on the phone. We did a
Wow.
brief interview on the phone. And I'm glad I had that because I at least told him that I thought he was dope and and his energy was so great. You know, we had a brief thing and
Right.
we showed each other a lot of love. And then I would cross his path because he was with Rock Nation and
Right.
some Rock Nation bunch and stuff.
Right.
But it's just one of those moments where you take, you take that for granted. Like I was always like, oh, and I knew it was gonna be dope. Like I knew when we said it was gonna be dope, but I didn't push I regret that.
My mother asked me. She said, I'm sorry I make this impression of my mother, but I do it.
Let's
My
hear
mother,
it.
Hey, baby. She said, I've never asked you for a favor. I said, okay, Mom, what you want? She said, I want to meet somebody. So I'm figuring my mom's want to meet Michael Jackson. I'm like, she want to meet fucking, Lionel Richie. So I'm like, who you want to meet? She's like, Big Pun. I'm like, that's my best friend. Don't worry about it. We'll get to meet him. And I pulled it off for like almost years, and he died. And I
Damn.
never
Before
got
you
to
can-
make
I
that.
hate
I thought
that.
he was going to be around forever. Like,
If nothing else that we learn from moments like that is like to take what I love.
Yeah.
What I love that I see happening now since Nipsey passed, especially, I see people showing each other love.
yeah.
I see
Right.
other rappers saying other rappers.
Drake
are
gave
dope.
that speech
Drake
at the
gave that
Billboard
speech. I
Awards,
thought that was dope. It's
Wait,
like we always do
I
that.
went over his head. What Drake gave?
Drake
what speech?
said, let's show people their flowers while they're
It
here.
was a Drink Champ speech.
Well, we started that.
It was a Drink Champ speech.
Well, he stole it
Yeah.
from you.
Okay, that's
clearly.
good. That's good. That's the time I'm good.
Yeah.
It's okay. He can take.
But
that.
it was dope.
But then
what
he
said.
also bigged up. I think Schoolboy Q had done an interview,
Yeah.
and he bigged up Drake and saying people should give Drake legendary status already at this point. And so I guess he said all these nice things about Drake, and then Drake took the moment during his speech at this big awards to say thank you.
Right.
Like
what was dope is that he actually was honest and said that he second guessed if he should reach out to Schoolboy Q and thank him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, nah, and he
Yeah,
reached out to him.
well, good looking Drake, because you also shout out Left Rack City, and all these little girls and boys are excited because his trainer is Hollywood Hino. He's from Left Rack, and he did that. We'll play the clip. Hopefully you got that. So big that up, man. Big him up. Do you think the reason why they don't give Drake his props is because of the ghostwriting thing?
if we're being honest, I feel like every rapper, like, you collaborate with people. You got people around
Right.
you in the studio. I mean, even
Right.
I hear stories about Big being in the studio and Lil C's would say a joke and Big would turn it into a song.
Oh, I've done that all the
Yeah,
time.
and so
Body
it's
in the
like-
Trunk, we literally took that from
I mean,
Jungle.
I don't
It's
know
true.
to what level, but look, you can't front that Drake's.
Yeah, he's dope. Yeah.
Drake,
Yeah.
I mean, what? Like,
Right.
I just feel like, and I know there's people that are purists that like, you gotta write every bar and you gotta, but
Me and Funk
I
Flex,
think-
me and Funk Flex argue for about 25
I know,
minutes
but I
about
think
that.
people use it as an excuse because I think people, for some reason, just don't want to give it up to the dude. I think maybe because he's too nice or he's too, I don't know what it is.
Successful?
But he
Or
said
he's too
nice for what?
successful.
Yeah.
You know, there's like
Or
a-
he's Canadian.
Wait.
You know,
He's what? He's too light skinned. Wears too many sweaters.
Rich?
There was the dark skinned guy.
the Haitian guy back there.
If he was dark skinned, I bet you they wouldn't say that.
Oh, man.
You think so?
I'm not sure.
Nah, I don't
But
think
what
that's the
is it?
case.
You can't front on him. Like, what
I
is
can't
it?
front on him.
I think it's
sat-
the success side of it that draws that attention.
And he's a nice
Yeah.
guy, man.
Oh, yeah?
Like,
And he cares about the culture. You could
what
tell.
is you have a problem with Drake? I can
No,
tell.
I do
You
not
have something.
I do not have. I don't know. Your producer's
No,
got it
no,
all
he-
wrong.
no, he doesn't have a problem.
Yeah, your producer got it all wrong. Yeah, you asked me that in your interview, but your producer's all wrong. I'm the one.
My
who-
spidey senses are
No,
sensing
I'm the
something.
one.
though.
No. The thing about it is, it's. I know he would never do Drink Champs, and
Why? So you're
Didn't you
because-
say-
you're irritated
because-
by that. That irritates you.
No,
about it.
I'm not irritated at all because
Okay.
it's like certain people want to control the environment. And I like, we almost turned down Will Smith. Like, he didn't, it's not like Will Smith said, yeah, but Will was like, yo, we can't do the smoking thing. And the thing about it is, I want to control my environment. I learned that from Leo Combs, right? Leo Combs back in the days.
Wait, Will Smith said he won't do the show if you smoke.
No.
weed?
One of the people, Will Smith's peoples, before we got to Will, was like, yo, you know, he'll do it, but just you can't smoke. And the thing about it is, we'd rather you come and we not smoke. We don't want you to give us those rules. You know what I'm saying? Because this is actually my show. And this is our show, excuse me. And you know, when I say mine, I say us. But you know what I mean? But you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't want the essence of this to go away.
No, I get that.
This is praising hip hop. Now, don't get me wrong. Will we take a Will Smith interview? Of course. We did it with Luke, but Luke didn't tell us not to smoke. Luke was like, yo, you know, Luke Skywalker.
Luke, Two Live Crew.
Two Live Crew.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so and
He didn't want you to smoke, really?
Yeah, because he had the children.
No,
thing.
he was doing political stuff at
Yeah,
the
he
time.
had the children thing, and he was running for mayor.
Luke got a lot of nerve.
Yeah, I mean, he drank with us. He drank with us. We
Or it might have been health reasons, man.
Look.
He didn't want the weed. Like,
All
he
right,
was just,
I
it
get
could.
that.
Who knows?
That's so
So, but
funny
the
to me.
thing
That's
was,
so-
he told us that.
I
when
mean,
he got
he's,
it.
you know, he's got a
Fact,
history
fact.
of, you know.
So that, you know, we just want to keep this shit to the essence, because
Yeah, I
and that's
get
the
it.
reason why we don't interview new guys, right?
So, but wait, so if Drake, let's go back. Because you
No
said
problem.
Drake.
I like how you taking over. I'm
Drake-
with. I'm in
sorry,
this.
I can't help it.
I'm
No,
in
no,
this.
go,
Wait, so
I'm in this.
Drake-
Did I not tell you? I said
please.
naturally she's gonna take over.
So wait,
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
So Drake not doing drink champs makes you feel away.
No, it doesn't. To tell you the
Lies.
truth. No. Let me tell you what happened. Here's exactly what happened. I was on my squash beef run.
You had a beef with him before?
No, I was on my squash beef one, meaning Fat Joe had reached out to me because I had just spoke to Jay-Z on some shit, and I spoke about it. So Joe knew. Joe's a close friend of mine. So Joe calls me. I squashed the beef with. I put him in the right direction. I sent him to listen. Just hit Myth Bleak. Bleak will make it happen. So Bleak. Joe calls Bleak. Whatever. All the way up happens. Joe on Rock Nation. So I'm on my
Kumbaya.
kumbaya shit, right? So it worked.
You Farrakhan and like you're bringing people
it
together.
actually worked.
I
I'm
know.
like, and Joe calls me. He's like, yo, he's actually gonna do the verse. Joe
What
calls
does this
me.
have to do with Drake?
It's all coincides.
Oh.
So what happens
It does,
is,
it does.
what happens is, OVO 40, who is
His producer.
Drake's producer.
Yeah.
OVO 40, me and him been cool since he did an article on the Vibe magazine. And they said, who's his favorite artist? And he says, Nori. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? This is weird to me. So me and him started a relationship. And, you know, we just did Drink Champs with DMX.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just, no one can get in contact with DMX if you can't too. So OVO 40 calls me and says, yo, we know that DMX hates us. Because remember, DMX did the Breakfast Club interview. He was like, I hate Drake. I hate his light skin. I hate his haircut. I hate
His light skin miss. That's so
he did
terrible.
say that, right? So this,
You might be onto something.
so OVO reached out to me and he's like, yo, you know, we don't think he likes us, but we know that you're cool with him. Could we maybe squash it? So I reach out to DMX and I'm like, yo, you're not gonna, you know, like get on the phone and go crazy. He's like, no. So I hook up the call again. I just hook it up and I get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where all this. So people might think that Drake owes me a favor for that. I don't. But then I heard through the grapevine, one of his people said, yo, you know, he loves Drink Champs.
Because you told me this.
He loves Drink Champs.
You think he's watching now?
I don't, bro, I probably.
Okay, hi,
So he
Drake.
said, I love
Hello,
Drink
Drake.
Champs. But I said, yo, he said, but he'll never do it. And I said, why? He said, he has to be in an environment that is controlled. And that I understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, that's why I bring up Will Smith, is because
All right.
the thing is, I gotta be in control. Like, I don't want,
But he got to be in control too.
that's the reason why
Yeah.
it probably won't ever happen. Like,
We almost did an interview, right? I hope he doesn't mind me sharing the story, but
no problem.
he won't mind because he's a fan of Drink Champs. So when anything we say here is okay.
Hopefully.
No, but we almost did an interview. I had reached out to him when that whole Pusha thing was happening. For me, I have a real problem when people. It becomes like this when everybody's just on somebody. Like it. I don't like when people gang up on. Like it really bothers me. I don't know. It's like a.
You don't like bandwagoning.
I don't like
that what
bandwagoning,
you're
but it's
saying?
also like I'm trying to think of the word. It's
It wouldn't
like,
be bandwagon because you mean like when they're like bullying
It's
or
not
like
bullying. It's not bullying because they all grown. Everybody's a grown man.
Right.
But it's like an angry mob. And then once an angry mob happens and a swelling happens, it's almost like uncool to say if everybody's on somebody and then somebody else goes, I really like them.
You felt like that
then
about
everybody
Tekashi?
bullies them, huh?
Did you feel like that about Tekashi? Like, was that the same vibe?
What do you mean?
Like about everybody talking about
Like
him
bullying
and
him?
that whole
Well, the Tekashi
energy?
thing was different. We could get back to that. But
Okay.
when the Pusha and Drake thing happened, I just felt like,
Yeah, I'm trying to see your angle because I'm not seeing where
I just
Pusha
felt
was the bully.
like, no, I'm not saying Pusha
Okay.
was the bully. I'm saying the internet, the
Right.
the tone
The
of the
trollers, yeah.
everybody's like all of a sudden everybody gotta hate Drake just because
Right.
Pusha. And I had reached out to him like, I'm wishing you well. I want you to get past this, and this too shall pass. Because it is. We've seen this.
Right.
We've seen the low,
Right.
low, and people come out with a hit record and people forget.
Yep.
So even though it feels like the whole world is against you this week, next week, you're probably gonna be fine. Like,
Right.
Okay.
you're so talented, this is gonna pass. Those are not the words. I just sent him a nice message, and he hit me right back and was like, "Thank you so much. I whatever." And then we talked about maybe doing an interview about it at that time. And it didn't happen, and it didn't need to happen because he put an album out and he was back on top, and everybody's all Drake. We love Drake
Kiki,
again.
nigga, Kiki did it.
Kiki changed the game, and he didn't need to.
Niggas thought, we
But-
heard Kiki, then you love me, and we forgot about Pusha T and his baby.
We forgot all about it.
We forgot. That's the truth.
I don't even remember the point of the goddamn
No, we
of the
talking about
fucking
Drake.
story.
And,
The point of the story is that we almost had that interview,
interview, yeah.
and then the time passed, and I didn't even reach out because I understand that
Right.
he doesn't get anything from talking. He's already back on top. The music's
Right.
telling
The
itself.
music speaks for
the
itself.
music speaking
Right.
for itself. Because I always think about this, right? It's not just about me and my radio show and getting my interview. It's also like, what's best for Drake? It's probably not best for him to talk right now.
Right.
So I'm not gonna push it and be like, yo,
Right.
you said you wanted to. I'm like, actually, he's kind of good right now. Like,
Right.
why would he? All he has to do is lose. Like, he's not gonna gain anything about over talking in a moment where he's back on he's
Right.
getting the graces of everybody back. You know what I'm saying? So I think, why would he do Drink Champs right now?
I don't think so. I wouldn't if I was Drake.
I
Fuck
think-
us.
I think fuck y'all. I think fuck y'all.
Fuck us. I don't know.
No, but
I get it.
I also think let a little time pass.
But you know
And
what
then
I think?
it's fun because it's like he's got nothing to win or lose.
You
It's
know
kinda
what?
Well, it
like
should
that.
be
You know
a
what I
fun
think?
thing to
You know what I
start
think
with.
would be
Yeah.
funny? Like I think that him and Meek together.
Yeah, but
should
if he
come on
comes here, you're gonna ask him about Pusha. You're gonna ask him about shit he don't want to talk about.
I asked Birdman. Birdman sat in the same exact seat that you was at, and I asked him everything. I asked him in a polite way, in a way that is niggerish, so he felt comfortable. And I'll do the same exact thing. The thing is, I bring you into my world. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
And we respect the dodge.
and
We respect the
it,
dodge.
yeah.
You do?
Like,
Yeah.
I know there's certain rappers that won't come to me because I'm like the FBI. Like I already know the question that I'm asking.
Yeah,
most
Ja Rule said he's
rappers.
never coming back. I saw him today. He was like, I'm never doing it again.
That's
He
a
always
lie. He'll
tricks
come
me.
back.
He'll
He'll
totally
come
come back. He'll totally come back.
Yeah,
He has a lot of
By
fun
the way,
here.
that's the first thing that Fat Joe said. But I was telling her today. I said when I started speaking about Spiff TV, he was like, "Oh no, I'm never coming back. Get it all out." But
Why? This is so peaceful here, pleasant here.
yeah, no,
Why
no,
would they not want to come back?
No, but
Baby, Birdman, Stunner.
Yep. Oh, but okay. No. I was
got you.
switching it up.
Oh,
I was
you
switching
were
it-
doing
I
a
was-
segue.
I was switching it up.
He was pivoting.
Because
You were pivoting?
We were talking about battling, and we were talking about Drake and the Pusha T. You also had a crazy moment when after Ether came out.
Yeah.
Jay came out with this record, Super Ugly.
Super ugly. Mhm.
And then Jay actually apologized
Yeah, on my show.
on your show.
Yeah.
And did you see that coming? Because
No, I never see that coming.
Right. So what does he do? He calls you and says he's coming up, or because I was through the phone.
No. First of all, I think Jay got the bad end of that deal because it really should have been Takeover versus Ether. Those were the two of their better records.
Oh, you
right?
talking about Battle of the Beats?
It was the battle we did on the radio,
Oh, come on,
right?
hold on.
And
Let
then,
me- hold on.
But
Stay
that was
right
the
there.
day he
I gotta describe
apologized.
this to the fans.
Okay.
Okay. At this point,
oh,
Don't hit the table.
okay, I'm so
what
sorry.
happens when we hit the table?
It's the podcast
We're
audio.
totally unprofessional.
I'm
It's totally
listening to our
different
podcast audio.
from
Okay.
where you was over there. But listen, Battle of the Beats meant so much. Like you literally, if you was on the Battle of the Beats, you literally ran outside in your hood and told everyone, call this fucking number and vote for me.
Right.
Isn't
And
that
if-
crazy?
and
I got
if-
some Battle of the Beats stories,
And
by the
if
way.
you won, you would proceed to the next night. You win 5.
Do you know what Battle of the Beats is?
I mean, we had
It was
something
two
like that in
records?
Miami, but
Oh, yeah, bit of us.
Yeah, well, you know where you got it from?
Yeah, got it from. Yeah.
like Khaled created something like that on Mix 96.
You know where you got it from?
Of course, we got all our radio stuff from you guys.
Okay.
So anyway, and when you
By the way, you know who helped me come up with that name was Solange Remy.
Solange Remy.
Yeah, we were on the phone mad late. I was like, I want to do something where we put two songs against each other, blah, 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 blah. And we were throwing names around all night. What's happening in this place?
It's my Haitian friend, man.
And we came up with the name Battle of the Beats. And then Salam went and had Lauryn Hill do the promo for me. Because he was working
Okay,
on
so
Fugees at the
look, so
time.
what happens if
She
you
was like,
win
it's the
5?
battle. It was Lauren singing it.
If you win 5, what is it, 5 in a row?
Yeah, then you go into like a Hall of Fame.
Then you go to the Hall of Fame, but then you like actually get added to like rotation in the station.
Yeah.
Huge at the time. Okay,
Yeah.
so Battle
By
of the
the way,
Beats.
you know, that was like, I was starting my career, so I didn't know nothing about my power.
You were just starting at that time?
I mean, I was
I thought you was
It
like-
wasn't like I was just starting, but I was already on nighttime.
What year is you're starting
I'm
this?
so bad at years, don't ask me. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm
90
bad at
something.
Mid 90s?
Yeah, mid 90s.
Okay.
And I had went from doing overnights. I was on like 2 a.m. They gave me this nighttime shift. It was like a big deal. Like, oh shit, people are like awake and can hear me on the
Right.
radio. And so that's when I was like, all right, I got to make a show. And I came up with Battle of the Beats. And you know, I'm not understanding the power of it yet because we're developing it. There's no such thing as hip hop radio.
Right.
Like we're
Right.
making it happen. This
Wow,
is a
I didn't
new
know
thing.
that.
Yeah.
So I just came up with it because it was something fun to do.
Okay, so
But
Jay.
then people started taking it really, like it became like a thing. Like I remember Leor calling me because I had put Cannabis against
I remember
LL.
this. I remember this.
I got a call from Leor.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm like, Leor, what?
And what is he
What do you
saying?
want me for? He was
LL must win this.
basically,
We would do what we have to do, NG, to make sure LL wins this.
I was like, it's not up to you. It's not up to me.
It's up to the
Whatever
listeners.
whatever the phone call say
Right.
is who wins. What do you want me to do?
Okay, so Battle of the Beats happens. It was Jay and Nas. It was Ether against Super Ugly.
Well, that was years later.
Yeah, I'm about to say that didn't happen
Really?
in the beginning.
No, I'm asking for
At
Battle
the
of the Beats.
beginning, it was no, but the beginning is how I met Jay because I had put it was remember Illinois Scratch.
Yeah.
So
With
Illinois-
my homies.
Good, no, good. We some old
Do you remember
people
their
back then.
second song?
I do remember if you say it.
I'll take her. With Brian McKnight. Brian
It
McKnight.
wasn't I'll Take Her. It was another song. I don't remember the name right now.
So we'll just say it's I'll
But
take
then,
her.
no, wait, but hold up.
We gotta get
So Illinois Scratch had a new song out, and I put it in Battle of Beats, and I was like, I need somebody to go against this. And there was some kid from Brooklyn, Jay-Z,
Ain't no nigga?
and was it Ain't
Or
No?
before
no,
that?
it was before that. It was
In My Lifetime.
In My Lifetime.
Yep.
I put it against Illinois
Al
Scratch,
Scratch beat Jay-Z?
but we didn't know who Jay was at the time. I just put it up.
Yeah, it was
No,
independent.
Jay bodied Illinois Scratch. But it was ridiculous. I was like,
okay.
who is this guy? I remember
Right,
thinking,
right.
like, who is Jay-Z? Like, who is this guy? Why is the phones going so crazy?
Right.
And then, years later, Jay told me they paid people to call all night. But
Strategy. Great strategy.
later, he told me that.
I want to use that right now.
But he told me that later. But it really got my attention. And then he won, and he won for like a few nights in a row. And then him and Dame showed up at the station, and they brought me like champagne, and then they showed up in the Rockefeller buggy eye Benz, and it was like a big thing.
I don't never remember them struggling.
What do you mean?
Like, you know,
They
every
weren't.
rapper.
I just said they showed up in a buggy eye Benz with their logo on it, with videos. in the
That's
back.
what he means.
That
That's
wasn't
what
a,
I mean.
that
That's
wasn't
what I'm
a
saying.
struggle.
I never remember them struggling. Like, I never, like, there's a time in a rapper's life where, you know, the train is essential.
Yeah, the train.
Like, it's a part of
I can't imagine him on the
It's
train.
like
Or
it's
being
like,
underground,
It's
like
waking
this,
up in
you're
the morning,
underground,
taking a
right.
shit, brushing your teeth, and the E train.
Yeah.
It's all a part
I
of your
was
life.
taking most for all of that time. I was taking a train to work.
I don't think I've ever seen
Like Jay's underground,
Those-
he looked like he was already platinum.
I've never seen.
Yeah,
that.
totally.
Like I remember going.
That's
him
how I
going to
remember him even from the
Crystals in
beginning.
Queens, and he was buying Cristal back then, and I was just like, what is that?
Well, that was
Like-
part of the appeal, right? Like,
Yeah.
who is this guy? Why does he have this money? What's happening?
Okay, so Battle of the Beats happened.
Anyway,
this
so it
happens.
became a thing where people were like really cared, and it was fascinating to me. Like, I just made this
But
up.
when he
People actually all of a sudden really, really cared that it
the
was really.
apology, did he call up or did he come up? I forgot that part.
No, he was at the station. That was years later. So Battle
Okay.
of the Beats had this legacy, and then it ended. Years
Okay.
it was over, whatever. Flex was like, when the Ether thing happened, he was like, Ange, we got to bring Battle of the Beats back for
Wow.
this thing. And then so we did that and it was Ether versus Super Ugly, and of course Ether won. And then
I think Irv Gotti was at the station.
Was
K
Irv?
Slade.
I don't think
remember
Irv was
listening
there.
to this. I remember listening to this.
I know K Slade was a lot of people there.
Right.
But literally, as I was announcing the winner is Nas, I
Right.
could see from my peripheral in the window, I could see Jay walking in.
Oof.
And I'm like, and the winner is Nas. This is terrible.
Did y'all make eye contact or no?
I knew. Well, I had heard that he wanted to come up, but just the timing of it, it was not a comfortable feeling.
Right.
So he kind of came up and sat in the chair. He was like, "It is what it is," or whatever. But you know, I took it too far and just wanted to apologize for that part. I guess for.
Damn, he said all that?
Nah.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
No,
I had
but
to
I'm
go
saying
back,
this-
but
this
it
what
was
he-
that.
That he went.
I don't know how it was out here, but in New York history, that was ill because that was like the first time we got to see a grown man be
And
grown.
he was not comfortable. And it's all the interviews, I had interviewed him maybe 4 or 5 times
Yeah,
already by that
right.
point in our careers.
Right.
And he was always, always confident, always whatever, ran the
But
show.
I think he said it's something from his mom's.
It
right?
was he said his mother heard and was like, why would you say that? He was, I guess she was disappointed in him for some of the things he said in Super Ugly, so he apologized. But what I remember about that day, and for me, what, I don't know, just was a moment, was after, because I felt bad. I never seen him like somewhat defeated and
Right.
that. So we walked out the room, I was like, off the air. I was like, are we good? Like, I was worried that this is not, he was
Fuck
like,
with your relationship with him?
that's what I mean. I'm like, this is what it is. I can't.
Right.
There's nothing I
Right.
can do here. This is what he was like. Nah, I get it. I get it. This is not even. Don't even worry about it. But it was like I can't even explain it. It was like he understood my role and my position, and it was not a personal thing. And he kind of just reassured me like, this is out of your control. I get it. You're doing what you got to do. And
That's
then
why
he
I
just
actually-
kind of left. And then I was like, we'll see. Are we gonna be cool or not? After I don't know. And of course we were.
That's why I asked you the Elliot thing earlier. Is like, was it every time you had to like separate yourself and say, you know what?
I mean, that was a specific time. Yeah,
Wow.
of course. Jay was already a friend at that point.
Right.
He had already supported me so many years, and we
Right.
did so many interviews,
Right.
but it is what it is. I'm not gonna be like Jay-Z won. He didn't
Right.
win. I can't do
Right.
that. That
Right.
he understood. He understood and respected.
Like how hard it would it be like?
I mean, he takes his craft seriously. I take mine too. I take
Right.
my job seriously too.
Right.
And I think there's a respect in that and an understanding.
Like-
and if
like-
somebody don't understand that, then they really not my friend.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like how hard would it be like if like your relationship with Jay and your relationship with Fat Joe?
even Fat Joe, when Fat Joe and 50 were beefing, I still had to interview 50 Cent
How
and
was
show
that?
him respect.
Okay, how was that? How was
Yeah, that must have been awkward.
What was your Texas like? What was your two-way like when he was interviewing 50 Cent and Fat Joe knew this?
I mean, Joe loves me and I love Joe, and it has nothing to do with me.
Uh-huh.
And so I always try to be fair, and I always try to, but I also, like, 50 is,
Yeah, he's funny, he's entertaining.
he's funny, he's entertaining, he is what he is. I've always been able to, like, I mean, if you beefing with him, I'm
Right.
not gonna I'm not gonna stop talking to you when I see
Right.
you. I'm gonna say, what's up,
Right.
And if I have to say to you, if you ask and I have to say what you did to Nori was foul, I'm gonna say that to you,
Right.
but I'm still our relationship is still gonna be separate from that.
Right.
And so I just always try to just be fair and truthful and let that lead. And then if somebody don't fuck with you after that, there's nothing you can do. You
Right.
only can control how you walk through a situation. You can't really control how other people receive it. So luckily for like somebody like Joe and I who are really friends, like
Right.
I
But I know
stay in
at-
their house when I'm here in Miami. Like they're really my
I
friends.
know at
really.
first he must have, he couldn't understand because at first he was emotional when it came to, like I know Joe like
Very
damn near,
well.
I feel like my whole life, right? And at first he was emotional when it came to the 50 thing because he had never experienced anybody in hip hop say anything about him. So I knew he was off guard a little bit because this was like his first time, and it was
Yeah.
like, and it wasn't like a guy said it and just was hiding. Like, he said it and like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so I know at first, was it a little awkward?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I think I'm just careful.
Okay.
I'm careful. I'm always careful anyway. I'm always careful just to make sure my energy's right. Like my intentions and my energy is right, and that's all I can control.
Right.
If I'm talking to somebody and they say something crazy, I just have to make sure that I'm grounded in my intention and my energy, and then that's it. I could walk out of that okay. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing I can't control everybody's
Right.
energy.
That
I
was
can't-
them, and that has nothing to do with you.
It has nothing to do with
Right.
me. All I could do is show up and try to be fair and try to be,
Right.
Okay.
do the right thing. But
I'm bouncing around a little bit over here. Now, there was this Biggie phone call.
there was.
All right.
Well, you went deep research for
No.
this.
No. Was it Hit 'Em Up? Hit 'Em Up comes out.
Oh God, yeah.
Dog Pound comes to New York,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's this rumor that Biggie Smalls called the radio station.
No, that's not a rumor. That's actually true.
It's just no one has proof of this.
Oh, it's on the internet somewhere for sure. It has
It's
to
on
be.
it. And this was on your show, correct?
It was actually, I mean, I was, at that time I used to run Flex's board, so I would be
Okay.
in the studio with Flex, but it really was Flex's show.
Okay.
And-
Because here's a deal. Like when they put it in the Tupac movie, like they don't play the actual footage. They play Gravy
audio.
talking over it, right?
Yeah, of
Like-
course not. They didn't really use any actual footage, I don't think, for that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
But that phone call
They just used that
actually-
weird Snoop voiceover, which
Yeah,
was,
that was crazy.
so
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
So
But
strange.
so this phone call actually happened.
Yeah, it totally happened.
So Big, this is the first, because you know the reason why this phone call is important is because this is actually the first time we get to see Big stand up for something. Like for most of the part, the
Have you
people-
ever had Snoop on?
I've
Yeah,
had Snoop on,
yeah.
yes.
So
I've had Snoop.
Snoop remembers all of this like word for word. Snoop and
at
I
the
have
time,
had Snoop and I have had many conversations about this because I always
we
thought
didn't dissect
Snoop,
it like that.
Oh,
with
okay,
Snoop.
because I always thought Snoop, you know, Snoop and I had a little weird thing because.
Because that's when they were doing New York, the video. album,
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So Snoop remembers all of that very clearly. He remembers the
Right.
big call. He remembers all people ran down here.
But describe that to us for people who don't know, because so Big just calls Funk Flex.
Yeah, he was on the, but people have to realize it wasn't
Yeah.
like he called him to tell him about the, you know, Big would often call into the radio, you know,
Right.
so that night it was like, yo, they shooting this video in Brooklyn, like Brooklyn stand up. It was something to that
Red
effect.
Hook.
It was like, but that was it. It was like a Brooklyn stand up.
It was a sign. It was.
That's what Snoop says. Snoop says that's very clear. There's nothing unclear about that direction.
No, I'm with Snoop on
It is,
this one.
it is kind
And
of.
then it got shot up.
But that was the first, because you know that's why it's important.
But
like,
then again, you know, it was a weird time.
It
When you
was
think about how crazy that is, that we were also invested in something that was so dumb.
And kind of media created.
I had a
Totally.
record called LA.
Kinda, but also artists.
Artists,
creative.
but the media, if anything, inflamed it more.
the vibe covers didn't.
That's
didn't
what I
hurt.
mean.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
what-
That was the media. That was pretty much it, and like MTV News maybe.
Right.
But it was just a weird.
But
time.
that was you know why that was the first time. Now if you was privileged to actually meet Big, I remember coming up to Big in the tunnel, saying "fuck them, let's ride on them," and Big looking at me like, "Young man,
chill out.
chill."
Big really tried, by the way. He really tried
You
to
could
like
tell.
not.
Yeah, I kid you not. I wish I could tell everyone individually like how far left they were, like how far to this area Pac was, and how far this
Yeah.
area Big was. Like Big really was like, I never did what they accused me of. Like he literally told me that.
Right.
And that shit, but I never met Tupac, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I met Big, but I
Yeah,
never met
he's
Tupac.
dope.
And literally, and this the crazy shit is we did a record called LA.
Oh
Where
yes.
we actually,
I remember that.
we stood up for East Coast because, oh, so sorry. I forget.
Stop banging on the
I
table.
forgot. I think I'm in the lunchroom. So, where we actually
With Mobb
did,
Deep.
with Mobb Deep, and we actually did it. And I remember bringing it to Big, and I remember him saying, because it was for a Stretch Armstrong mixtape. And Stretch Armstrong was hosting a Bad Boy mixtape.
Right.
Remember Bad Boy had the mixtape?
Yeah,
so
that
they-
mixtape series was fire.
So, yeah, and I remember Big telling me to my face, I'm not gonna use that. And that's the reason why LA came out the way it came out, is because Big told me to my face, I'm not gonna use that. And I was like, I was so hurt, because here I am defending him.
Yeah, he didn't want no parts of it. He was living his
And
life.
he was trying to be the bigger man.
He was, and I think he just was trying to stay focused. And that's probably Puff was probably in his ear, like, don't get distracted. I would imagine. I don't know that for a fact. But Big tried, and also Snoop tried.
I think that's what killed Ja Rule, is because he tried to like go the Biggie route, and 50 was just different. Do you think so?
You think 50 was different than Pac? It seemed like Pac was just as
no.
relentless.
No, I felt like
Very different.
very
Yeah?
different, yeah.
Well,
very,
both relentless.
yeah, both relentless and both hard.
I just think one had social media when the other one didn't.
Oh, imagine if Tupac had social media.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I'm
He
saying.
had
That's
Twitter?
the only difference.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
shit. Imagine Big Pun on fucking Facebook. Big Pun on Instagram. Holy moly. Holy shit. Oh man, I had a moment just now. I'm sorry.
I see.
I'm literally thinking about I miss Pun.
Of course, man.
What's some of your memories of Pun?
Oh, Pun. You know, Pun got me super high on the radio one time.
On the radio? No. I have no idea.
So I had never had any like weed cookies before.
Okay.
And he came to the show and he had a bag of weed cookies. And he was like, yo, have one. And I was like, I had smoked, so I thought, okay, I could handle a weed cookie.
Right.
And what I didn't know is it takes time to kick in.
Right.
So I ate one. I was like, I feel nothing. I'm
Don't
fine.
tell me you ate more.
Oh, I ate like half a bag. And then I did this with the crumbs.
And it's
You
a
on the
different kind
radio?
of high. It's like psychedelic
And that little
shit.
fucker, he fucking sat there and watched me do it. And, you know, because Pun was the asshole.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Like, he was, in the best way possible. You know,
Yes,
he was
yes,
like a jokester.
yes, the people
Like,
know
to him,
that.
it was probably hysterical. Like, oh, she has no idea.
Right.
And so I had way too many cookies. And so we finished the interview, and I was fine. I was like, pfft, I can eat all the cookies in the world. My tolerance is crazy.
Right.
Nothing happened to me. And then all of a sudden, I was like, and I'm still I had to finish the rest of my show. And I said to Patty Duke, who was my producer, I was like, I think I have to go to the hospital. I think I have to go to the hospital.
Big up the Speedy and Patty Duke. Yeah.
Was it Patty or Monte? It was, I don't even
And
remember.
big up the Monse. Yeah,
I think it was both of them. And I wanted them to take me to the emergency room. I was like, I think I'm dying. I think I'm gonna die. My heart, I think I'm gonna die. Like I just kept saying, I think I'm gonna die, take me to emergency. Anyway, they wound up taking me home. Somebody drove me home and I slept it off, but it was terrible. Like I haven't, by the way, never again, I won't have an edible, I won't have a gummy, I won't do none of that shit.
Edibles are terrible.
Because Pun ruined it for me forever.
So, have you ever like?
Have you ever is never a,
Have you-
Have you ever regretted an interview? Like, have you ever like, it's like, somebody like a Mike Kaiser type, maybe not Mike Kaiser, but a Mike Kaiser type, who you play cards with and they call you and they say, interview, DC Jeffrey Go.
Who's that?
The new nigga,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then he comes and this guy, he's on lean and he's.
I hate those interviews.
You hate the lean interviews?
I do. I don't even like when people
The
are too
lean
high.
interviews.
Right.
I love Nas. But when back in the day when Nas would smoke too much, I would hate our interviews because, he's smart and he has so much to say, but he would get high and he'd be like, yeah, no, he wouldn't. So I would be like, I hope he comes today not high, because I always would get better interviews from Nas when he wasn't high. But I think, later he probably learned how to do interviews.
No, he's ill now. He's
Yeah,
ill.
he can do it all
told you,
now.
I
But
saw
I'm
this-
talking about early.
I saw Nas's first show in Miami.
Wow.
Ill and Out Scratch opened up. And
Why does Illinois Scratch keep
Yeah, they
coming
can come
up?
up.
Where
Ill and Out
are
Scratch,
they?
yeah.
But I was so disappointed, unfortunately, because I think that Nas was just so high.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, in the beginning, yeah.
Because you imagine Ill and Out Scratch, you know how they are. They're together, interacting. They all energetic. And
Dance
then Nas,
routines and
and then
shit.
we're all ready for Nas, and then he just was there.
He was probably too high.
And I was like,
You
oh,
know what?
shit.
A lot of us was getting to learn our show, but I'm jumping around.
But
the
then
subjects.
later, people, if they're too high or they're too whatever, if they're on whatever, then it's never a good interview. And also now I've learned, and as I've grown, like, I don't even want to, we see people that are in bad conditions sometimes. I never want to interview somebody who's in a bad state. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I feel
meaning
it's almost
mentally, or meaning they high and they
high
Inebriated
or
and
they on
inebriated or they're on heroin
So
or
drink
whatever it
chances are
is.
terrible.
No,
Drink whatever, but like,
Yeah.
this is by your own, you're
Right,
fine.
right.
But sometimes people, I feel like I'm taking advantage. Like, there's been people where like I'll literally stop the interview and I'll be like, let's do it another
Yeah,
time.
table it.
Right.
I'd rather do that than let you play yourself
Right.
and be under the,
Oh no, not us. We let them play that stuff.
You do that?
Over here. Yeah. We let them play
See,
that
I'm
stuff.
not good
over
with that.
here. Yeah.
I'm not good with that.
You know, another funny story is when you brought up Pun. I just thought of this. When you said Pun was like almost like a bully, was when Pun went to the Fat Farm, right? He says, "I lost 100 pounds."
Yeah.
Every time I see that, I hear that, I cry.
Aw.
But I remember me being in South Carolina, and I had a show in South Carolina, and for some reason back then, people in North Carolina could hear with South Carolina and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I was in the next state, and Pun calls me. He's like, "Yo, you in the?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, well, I'm like 45 minutes away. Come see me." So I'm like, "All right, cool. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just go." So I go to see him, and the counselor knows who I am. He's like, "Oh shit, you coming to see Pun?" I'm like, "Yeah." So Pun's like, yo, get a pass. They're gonna give you like an hour pass. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to the guy, I'm like, yo, can I get a pass? He's like, yes, Nori. But have him back in an hour and don't let him fool you. So I'm like, all right, cool. I have no idea what he's talking about, right? So
I already see where this is going.
I put Pun, this is back in the days we got a Vantastic. So I put Pun in the Vantastic, we're driving around, you know the Vantastic? So we're driving around, he's happy, he's out of this shit. So he goes, yo, Pana. So I say, what's up? He goes, pull over to the KFC. And I go, yo, Pun, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I know, like, you're in a fat farm. KFC
It's not on the
and
menu.
the fat farm don't go together. This is how you know Pun is a different type of dude. He said, I figured it out. I said, what? He said, the fat is only in the skin. All we gotta do is take the skin off of the chicken and I'm good. Me, like an idiot, goes to a KFC, I give him a 30 piece. I'm 30. I'm like, yo, you sure you don't want like a 5? He's like, partner, don't worry, we're gonna get a 5, and I'm gonna come back and get another 5, and I'm gonna come back. We just might as well just get the 30 piece. And I'm like, you sure? He's like, listen, man, I do it there all the time. I just take the skin off. Me, like the idiot, 24, 5-year-old I am.
Accomplice.
I done bought the 30-piece biscuits, macaroni, and a Diet Coke for my homeboy.
Who's at the fat farm?
Why is at a fat farm? So the crazy shit was, he said, and I don't realize that you smell like grease. Like if you haven't been eating fast food. Right. So we walk in, as soon as they walk in, they're like, Nori, never again. Like never, like we wiped him. Every evidence of him
at KFC?
In the world. As soon as he walked in, the counselors knew immediately.
It was seeping through his pores.
They was like, so I just remember, I'm just sorry, I just remember that story because.
That's a great story.
So, all right.
Uh-oh.
It comes time. From what I heard, you wanted to be the PD or of Hot.
I did?
This is pure rumor.
Okay.
I've never heard no inside information.
Okay.
And for some reason, these people say, you know what? You're Ange, you're who you are. But then this other opportunity. This is a brand new radio station. Mm-hmm. They got this slogan, flip the switch. Mm-hmm. Everybody in Def Jam, if you flip the switch, you flip the switch forever.
Yeah.
So people are scared to flip the switch. People are scared to flip the switch at first. Clue comes over, right? Clue comes over.
Then Envy.
Then Envy, but there's no Breakfast Club. Mm-hmm. There's no #1 show. Everyone is looking at this station like, ah. Mm-hmm. But then there's something remarkable happens. The Breakfast Club forms. Mm-hmm. They do it. But Sister Ange, like when you thought of Hot 97, literally you thought of Angie Martinez. Mm-hmm. How is it to make that decision? Because I obviously don't want to talk about the numbers, but obviously it had to be bigger than just the numbers because you're leaving family. Like, I remember like honestly, and I'm saying this with all due respect to everyone else, but if it was anyone else, everyone would have just moved on. Like that whole week, everyone was sad. Like I don't know if you. Like,
no, it was amazing. I didn't know that reaction was gonna be what it was.
Like it was.
I knew it was gonna be a big deal, but not what it was. I was not prepared for that. Like I'm prepared. I'm over prepared. Whenever I do something, I already know 7 steps ahead what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. I did think of a lot of things and how I'm gonna do it and what I'm and all of that, but the reaction of everybody, I was not all the way prepared for. Like it literally was like it took my breath away.
Because in reality, it is a job, right? It is a job. You
Here's
can
the
move,
thing.
But you created family.
I always had this fear of like being institutionalized in a weird way. Like I would watch people be in the game and they only work for one label for their whole career and then they're over. And then it's over. And I loved Hot. We built it. We made it what it was. Flex is my family. He made, helped make me. He was And then, you know, I have family there. Enough is my brother. He's still my brother. I just spoke to him the other day. He texted me just to tell me he loved me.
Oh, that's a drink taps. Aw.
It was literally like 3 days ago, and I still love him. Laura Styles, I just talked to the other day also.
Do some watermelon shots, Mr. Lee.
Watermelon shots for enough.
Yeah.
But it was like I felt like I was being loyal to something that wasn't there anymore. So it's like you build something, right?
When you say that's not there anymore, you're talking about the regime?
Yeah, it was a different place. It wasn't the place we created.
The original was Tracy.
Yeah, it was Tracy, it was Judy Ellis who gave me my break. It was just like we built this thing, we make this thing, and then this thing becomes something else. And it becomes more corporate. And it becomes different. And all of a sudden you're there and people connect your name with this brand. And I just started feeling like I wanted to control my own brand and my own self. Like there was new people working there, new people in charge that I had no really connection to. And so what am I being loyal to? Am I being loyal to Flex? Am I being loyal to Enough? Like if we're friends and we're family, we're gonna always be friends. This is what y'all do. You do shots and then till people get pissy and then you make them talk about shit.
No, is that, keep going.
I'm not drinking this whole thing. I guess like, it's too sweet.
So you're not being loyal.
That's
Ooh.
nice.
That's good.
I'm gonna sip on it though. I'm not doing a shot.
Cool. I respect that.
And so my contract was up for a really long time, and nobody there was checking me on it. It was just kind of floating. And
Like
so let me
contract?
give you two scenarios, right? So I have all this great career there, and then what? I just ride it out to the sunset and then it's over, or do I look at my options? Do I look at I've built this, not only this, but I built myself up, and now I'm still in a position where I have value. Do I just ignore my value and just sit here next to these new people and next to this family, or do I just look around and see what's my options?
Right.
So what's the thing to do, right?
Before your contract ends, or you already?
My contract been up. Nobody
it was
even.
up. Nobody even knew it. They just
knew
writing.
it. Nobody was even.
Because
it was a little bit of taking me for granted.
Right.
In a way.
That's
You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
It was
taking
like
for
a
granted,
handshake,
yeah.
like it was a handshake.
There was
type
no
of thing?
handshake. There was no
No,
nothing.
just
My
like-
contract was over. I was just working, and.
Like month to month almost.
Because the rumor was like you wanted to be like the MD or the PD.
No, I don't want. Why would I want to do that? You get paid less money than I get paid.
Oh, wow.
And you got to work twice as hard than I
Oh,
work.
okay.
Why would I ever want to do that?
Okay.
Why would you do that, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I wouldn't know. And so just what had happened was I looked around.
Right.
Like, what's all right? So what are my options at this point in my life, in my career? I'm a mother. I got mortgage. I got life. Like, let me just know. And then when I realized, because I always thought of them as the enemy, but then I was like, let me meet them and see what type of
When you
human
say
beings
them, you're
these are.
talking about power.
Power. It was the enemy, right? And so I grew up. It was what it was.
Yeah.
And then you meet people and you're like, oh shit,
Right.
you're not bad people. Like you love radio. You respect me.
So-
we start
so-
having a mutual conversation.
So describe to us, because this got to be awkward, because you know why? When we thought of Hot 97, like, again, I want to reiterate this. We thought of you and Flex, right?
Yeah, but let me tell you something, right? If I would have never moved, right, I'm always gonna be Angie from Hot 97. Do you think of me as Angie from Power now, or do you just think of me as Angie Martinez?
Your own
Angie
brand.
Martinez, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what?
That's very true.
So
That's very true.
would that have ever happened for me if I stayed still and comfortable?
But how was this approach, though? Because
No, but I'm asking you the question.
no,
Do I-
you're 100%.
so that
1,000,000%
that
agree
question
with you.
alone, when I ask
Yeah.
myself that question,
That's real.
do I want to be my own thing, or do I want to just be connected to
A standalone brand.
a brand
Yeah.
that is, yes, we built it, right? But
Right.
now it belongs to, I don't own it. It's not mine.
Okay.
If they want to sell it tomorrow, then I'm out of a job, and then what? There was no, I just felt a disconnect from the brand and myself. I felt a disconnect. I didn't feel a disconnect from Flex. I didn't feel a disconnect from Enough. But
Right.
the brand of the radio station, I felt disconnected from.
But how did this other side even get to you? Like y'all at Del Frisco?
I went to them.
No way! I never knew this part of this.
Yeah.
No way.
No, because for years they would always try to come for me.
Okay.
And I would be like, nah.
Right.
Nah, I'm never going over there. You can't.
Right.
You could never afford. I was on that young dumb because I acted like I owned the brand, the other brand. I don't own none of that.
Alright.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't own none of that, but I was acting like that.
Right.
But
The
so I was always
loyalty.
like, no. But then once I had that realization, like there was some things that happened behind the scenes, some decisions that were made that I didn't like, that I had no control over. We did that show. I hated that show.
The reality show?
That reality show.
Oh, with VH1?
Yeah, there was decisions that were being made that were not in my best interest. So if this brand is not looking at my best interest, why am I being loyal? Why am I sitting here when there are other options for me? And so I started looking. And so I had put the word out that I would be interested in having a conversation just to see what's out here. And then when I did, I just felt like it's a better experience for me to know what happens at different. I don't want to just have one experience my whole career. For that alone.
But let me address like the elephant that was in the room, at least then.
Okay.
A lot of the blame was blamed on Ebro.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of
Ebro. I love Ebro for the record.
Okay, a lot of it was like, you know, he came in and at first, like now I consider him.
I might have even blamed him a little bit at the time. In retrospect, I do not.
Okay.
But at that time, it was a new regime. He was trying to find his way on. He was going from PD to on air. And so he was kind of looking out for his best interests to an extent.
Which he's supposed to.
Which he's supposed to.
Right.
But also it made me realize this is not my best interest.
And
so let me start looking out for self.
Right.
Let me not just be dumb and loyal and be like, whatever everybody wants, but nobody's making sure this is good for me. I had to back up and be like, hold up. Let me
who do
make
you
sure.
go to for advice when you make that type of move? Like, or you did this all on your own? Like you sat back, or do you talk to a whole?
I didn't want to talk to nobody about that because I didn't want it to. I wanted to control the narrative of that. I wanted to control the outcome of that. And I have a theory that like everybody has a best friend, right? So you might be my best friend and I trust you, but you got another best friend that you trust. So I'm a vault. Like if there's something I don't want people to know, I don't tell nobody. And the same thing, if you tell me a secret and I value our friendship, I'm never gonna tell nobody else because as much as I love this person and trust them, they trust and love somebody else. So I'm very careful about that type of thing. So I really didn't tell nobody, like my man, probably about it. Like he knew.
Wow.
But literally, like that's probably it. Like even nobody, like nobody. Also I needed to figure it out. It was so close and it was so like a tender decision that I really didn't want no other noise. I really wanted to know I was doing the right thing.
I never seen like the industry shaking up like this. Like
I know. It really freaked me out.
Like I can't even lie to you. Like that's the reason why I keep comparing it to the Floyd Mayweather because Floyd always seemed so happy with HBO, and then to see him with like Showtime, it was just like, wait, what?
Floyd don't own HBO.
Well, we didn't see it like that. And the thing about it is like, I know we spoke about it with.
Listen, if that was my company, we would have rolled that to the wheels fall off. Or if that company was like, hey, you get to decide this, then we could have rocked. But like it wasn't. I was a paid employee.
No equity.
There's no equity and there's also no protection.
Right.
If you decide tomorrow you want to start playing dance music, which by the way, at that time it was starting to happen. They were starting to play some
K7 and all that.
There was some no, it was like a time they were experimenting and I just thought I had been there a really long time. They could easily make a change.
And then your ass is out.
And then what? Yeah. So who do I leave my destiny to? Do I leave it to a company or do I take it into my own hands and decide what's the better fit for me? And I also just feel like you gotta shake shit up sometimes. I felt I was a little comfortable. I could have just sat there and rode that out, but I was very comfortable, like too comfortable, where I'm uncomfortable because I'm too comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was your station.
you got to get up. You got to shake shit up. And this is what I told Drewski too. I remember that day. Drewski was my show producer, and he was very upset.
Wait. Oh, so he found out on air?
No, everybody found out that day.
Oh, that's right.
The only person I told the night before was Flex. I wanted to have that moment with him. Right. But everybody else found out when I got there. Like nobody.
Okay.
So.
And you said it on air?
No, I said it right before. They knew. Okay. Everybody was already like in tears by the time we got to the air. But what I had said to Drewski, I was like, you have to shake shit up. Like, it's okay. We did great shit that doesn't negate anything. Doesn't negate my love for nobody. Doesn't negate what we did. But we're moving forward now, right? And so what happens is when you shake shit up, it forces other people's situations to get shaken up. So me leaving opens up a slot for Drewski or for Nessa or for somebody else to just, it keeps the energy moving, right? And so for myself and for other people, it's not just, me, so.
Do you ever turn on Hot and listen to it, or you like, fuck that shit?
I have no, and I'm not even just saying this because it sounds cool, like I have no bad feelings towards it at all. People think, like you said, Ebro, like I love Ebro, you know what I'm saying? But I can't keep myself tied down to something that don't fit me no more because I love people. Like if they love me back, they want me the best for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, So I never really subscribed to We Gotta Be Enemies because we work at different radio stations. None of us own either one of those radio stations.
Right.
None of them.
Yeah, that used to bother me when like I was throw an album release party or something like that, and the labels would tell me, well, we gotta have a power party and then we gotta have a hot party.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, why we just can't just invite? And the crazy shit
No,
was
people subscribe to that. Like they live like
ridiculous.
you can't
you
be
know the
friends with
crazy
the
shit
other.
is that's only in New York. Like it's mainly in New York.
No, it's not.
and
That's
in
a
the-
lie.
in-
I
in
know
the LA,
mad
in the
radio
major
stations.
markets, not in the.
I
you
disagree.
can promote a show in Jacksonville and Fort Myers.
Well, because in smaller markets they're
Right,
happy
but
to get an
that's two different
artist.
cities, though.
This is what I'm trying to
they
say.
have less
You-
muscle, but they have
Right.
beef against it. Trust me, all
Right.
radio stations. If you have a competitor, it can get very serious.
And the corporations that own these stations have kind of like pushed that agenda.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
not doing that to me.
Right.
And honestly, that's one thing I was proud of is that there was so much hostility between everybody at Hot and everybody at Power. And I refused to do that. Even when I left.
These are my friends. They
They're
motorcycles.
my friends. Oh, that's your friends? I
Yeah,
thought you were
they
talking about Power.
motorcycles. No, I'm talking
Oh,
about.
hi,
They
motorcycle.
bikers. They bikers.
Well, let's holla at Best Buy Liquors though. We gotta.
Oh,
thank
big
them
up the
for
Best
drink.
Buy
Oh.
Liquors, man. You know, they provided us with that
Thank you.
watermelon Ciroc.
Thank
They
you.
provided us with some Dom Perignon. You know what I'm saying? Some Moet. And anytime you're in South Beach, give us that address.
No, you gotta check them at bestbuyliquor.com, man.
Word. And give them the address, because, you know,
Well, you want to go to
19.
19367 South Dixie Highway.
God damn it.
Best Buy Liquors at AOL.com, bestbuyliquor.com.
God damn it. Make some noise for Best Buy Liquors. God damn it.
Hey!
So
Anyway, I say all that to say.
Uh-huh.
I was proud of the fact that when I left there, I was able to maintain my relationships
Right.
with people there, and then also create new relationships. Like I never knew Charlamagne. I never knew none of them, and we've built.
And I remember the day you got over there and how, because this is when I knew that Charlamagne was kind of a genius, was because he had like beef with the whole Hot 97, and as soon as you came over there, he had so much great things. He admired you so much. And
But I
was just
love being able to break that wall down. Like it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
we here now. I'm sitting across from you. Now what?
Exactly.
What are we talking about?
Exactly.
And it was
Exactly.
love. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was a.
It reminded me of one day I had spoke to Flex, right? And Flex was talking about this guy so bad. And I was like in front of the guy, and I just called Flex, and I was like, yo, Flex. He goes, no. It's just competition, Nori. He's like,
Yeah,
what?
he was always like that.
He was like, yeah, I meant none of this shit that I said on the radio. I just, you know, I just wanted him to know, like, we're in competition. Like, and I was like, I had never knew that. And you know what else I respect about Flex? I'm gonna tell you. This is probably one of my not favorite Flex stories. God, come on, let him come in. Come on, man. Fuck
in.
it. Fuck.
Hey.
Bring in the
This is one of
motorcycles,
my
too.
favorite. This is one of my favorite people's stories, not just Flex stories. I remember Flex saying that he had the Meek record, right?
The what record?
The Meek.
Oh, Meek.
Remember Drake had dropped.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't have it. It was a lie.
He didn't have it. He was alive,
Oh,
right?
that's classic Flex.
He said that on the air?
Oh yeah, well he had everybody. I'm gonna play it. What is
No.
the next day? He had people
Listen, I
waiting
literally
hours.
missed my flight. I literally was like, yo, hold on.
Never had it.
I was like, yo, look.
Classic Flex.
If I get on this flight right now and I miss this, I'm gonna miss this classic New York moment. So
Right.
I actually stood there and waited. So bottom line, Flex didn't get the joint, right? So the next day, I call Flex and I'm trying not to bring it up. I'm just like, yo, I got this record. And Flex is like, he's listening. He's like, all right, who's on the record? No, but he wants to ask me. So Flex goes, how did I look yesterday? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, keep it real with me, Nori. He's like, how did I look yesterday? I was like, you looked a little funny. He said, was I baking like a biscuit? I said, you were baking. And he said,
Bacon like a biscuit?
baking like a biscuit. It mean like, you know, you looked at. He said, no, I know. I said, nah, Flex. But did you never have the record? He's like, no, such and such told me he had the record, but I should have not listened to that. And this is why I respect Flex. And he goes, I know I looked like a biscuit. And I go, how do you know? He said, because I stayed home the whole day yesterday. He said, and I didn't open my door for nobody. But I had one delivery. He said, I said, fuck it. They knocked on my door. He said, open it up, and I opened the delivery, and the guy just looked at me and said, rough night, huh? And yo, he took his losses with his win. I had never seen somebody with the same smile that he had as winning.
Because he loves the game. He loves the ups and downs of it. He loves that.
Like he smiled with his loss. Like I never seen nobody like he's like, yo, Nori, I knew I fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't have said I had the record. Like, so I know I asked you like in a certain way, and has there ever been a time where an artist has sat down with you, said some crazy shit, and then told you, yo, please erase that?
Oh yeah, multiple times.
Okay.
And I tend to respect it unless they're in the wrong in some way. Like
example.
But really I won't, because ultimately it's like normally it's nothing's that serious. Like if an artist is really uncomfortable with something,
right.
I'm not that pressed.
Right.
Like cuz like I said, I'm culture friendly, I'm artist friendly, I'm like
right.
We're all here to lift each other up. And so if something is said that's, that hurts somebody, then we take it out. I don't care. It's fine. So that's happened. Not a lot.
Right.
I don't make it easy because I don't want that to become a thing.
Right.
But it's happened a few times. You're going to ask me now when, and I can't remember nothing.
So you also ran a marathon?
Yes. It was a terrible idea.
Wait,
how many miles was this marathon?
Well,
26?
Let me tell you something.
22.
26.2.
22, yeah.
26.2. By the way, don't sleep on the
forget
point
that
two.
point two.
Because after 26 and you feel like
that
you're going
point
to
two's a
drop dead,
motherfucker.
die, and you still have to run another point two,
Right.
it's not every mile hurts.
Now, you did this before Puffy, or?
No, I did it way after. I just did this a few years ago. I did it the year when I went to Power, that first year. I was so like inspired. You know the rush of going, could you imagine the rush I had of that transition?
I just want to picture this. So you leaving your station, you're getting the biggest contract of your life.
Yeah.
And you say, fuck it. Let's just go run a marathon.
Because then that settles down and I'm like, what am I going to do now? I got to do something else.
That sounds like some rich people shit. I'm just throwing it out
No, the
there.
truth is it was on my bucket list. I'm a bucket list person. Like I was a kid and I used to watch it like, yo, if I could do that, I could do anything. I used to literally watch the marathon and think that. So it was a bucket list thing. And
It's a specific marathon? What's the marathon called?
New York City Marathon.
Okay.
So then
I love the way she just told you that.
Like I live in New York, I'm sorry.
you have to live in New York. It's a big
I'm sorry, it could have been the Miami Marathon.
Get a watermelon
It's not
shot,
the same
Mr. Lee.
thing.
Let's do a watermelon shot.
So do a shot for that question. Anyway, so my friend Cece Sabathia and Amber Sabathia, they were doing this thing.
Love the floss. Love the floss.
No,
Continue.
whatever. So they were doing a team for charity, and I had just come off the high of this transition, and I was like, now's the time. I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So we had like 6. So I told her I'm gonna run on the team, and she was like, okay, great. She just mentioned the team. I said I'm gonna do it.
Team?
She had a team, because in the New York City Marathon, you have to be like on a waiting list. It's that marathon, like you can't just go run it. Like you have to get.
I just can't say fuck it. I'm going.
You can, but it could take like 2-3 years to be on a waiting list to get accepted because it's full. Like it's every year, unless you're doing it for charity and you can find a team to be part of. So she had a team registered to go run. So she had mentioned it. Our kids played Little League at the time. They were playing Little League. So she mentioned she was doing this team, and I was like, it's on my bucket list. Right. I'm coming down from the high of the transition. Right. I'm gonna run the fucking marathon. This is gonna be amazing. In my mind, it's gonna be amazing. Right. I can't run up the block without passing out. Like I'm not a runner. I don't even run. I don't know why I thought
You didn't train for this?
No, listen to me. So when I told her I would do it, I had 6 months. So I was like, in 6 months, I could train. I could train.
Yeah, 6 months.
I could train in 6 months.
Yeah.
I'll be in great shape by then. I can't run to the corner store right now, but in 6 months, I'll run the New York City Marathon. It'll be a great idea. Anyway, not a great idea. So I start training. I can't run a mile. I can't run 2 miles.
What's his shot?
So he needs a shot. He needs to take a shot.
Aguayente. Take an aguayente. Go ahead.
What did you say, bro?
No. Give him watermelon. He don't like watermelon. Give him aguayente.
No, give me. I already drank watermelon.
Keep the watermelon for the black people.
Hey.
I'm just playing. It's a joke. It's a terrible joke. A very racist joke. Yeah, continue.
I enjoy this little watermelon so
I'm not mad at the water. And you got a half a shot.
Puff, if you want to give me a check for saying that, feel free.
Let's go. Salud.
I'm not doing the whole shot, but it's very tasty.
Marathon.
Anyway, so I start training and I realized, wow, this was a bad idea, like almost immediately. But I've already said it on the air. By the way, speaking of Puff makes a donation. I'm gonna give you $1,000 for every mile you run.
Each day?
Every mile. Every mile.
Actual marathon.
So if I run 26.2, he's gonna give me $26,200. So he says this on the radio. People are making donations. We gotta
So there's a lot of pressure on you.
There's a lot of fucking pressure. And I already said I was gonna do it. I'm signed up. I got a blog about it.
You can't call in sick.
No, I started really having like severe anxiety. Because I was like, I can't, so I use the app, right? And it tells you, this is how you should train. Oh, you got 6 months? Well, you need to do 1 mile this day, 4 miles this day. So the days I'm supposed to do 8, I still can't run 2. So I know I'm way past, I'm way behind. But I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna walk when I can't. I'm gonna run, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna, whatever. So anyway, so about 2 weeks before we're supposed to run the marathon, they say you're supposed to do a long run. So if the marathon's 26, you're supposed to run like 18 miles. And that's the furthest you go. Then you rest, and then you show up for the day. So everybody on my team is like, oh, because they all been training. They're in great shape. They're all ready for the marathon. They've all already run 10, 12, 16 miles. So we're going to do the long run as a team before the marathon.
Oh, man.
Let me tell you something. I thought I was going to die. When I tell you die. And I walked half of it. Like, I thought I was gonna die. So cut to the end of the 18 miles, I'm hobbling to the car, like I can't even walk. So now we got a few weeks before the marathon, and my leg is fucked up from the long run. So from that day to the day of the marathon, I can't barely walk, let alone run. So I show up at the marathon, and they got us in the VIP tent, because we're, with the Sabathias, and so there's like Olympians and pro, athletic people there.
CC ran the marathon?
No, CC didn't run. It was his team.
Okay.
So I show up. I'm hobbling to the marathon. I'm already limping.
Big up to CC who just struck out 3,000 people too,
that's
right away.
amazing.
Yes.
So I hobble to the thing, and now I have to run 26.2 miles. This is how I know God is real. Like, I know God is real.
Yeah, I can see it in your face.
Because I literally prayed my way through the whole marathon. Like, I prayed the whole way. Like, first it was like, get me through the first couple of miles. By the way, so let me just tell you this real quick story. So the marathon, you start on the Verrazano Bridge. That's how it starts. And now I got my whole team.
Staten Island?
Yes,
Verrazano?
my whole team is with me.
Okay.
We got starting at the Verrazano Bridge.
Oh.
We all start. And Amber's there, Cece's wife. We're not even halfway over the bridge. This is the beginning of the marathon, and I can't keep up already.
Your team is out.
My team is out. I'm like, just go on without me. We're not even like a half a mile in. I'm like, go be okay. Go on without me. Because I'm running mad slow. So, I don't know. I literally prayed, but there was a point I got to like 7 miles, and I was like, I'm going to finish this.
Wow.
When I got to 7, I was like, if I could do 7 miles, I'm gonna do 26 miles. Like, I'm gonna finish this. It took me mad long. For the last 5 or 6 miles, I was literally like limping running, like skipping and hopping running. And I'll never forget this. We're in Central Park, and it's towards the end. It's like a mile left. Sounds like nothing, right? Because it's 26, but go run a mile right now.
Right.
It's still a mile. Like, I just did 25 miles, it's still a mile left. And I remember thinking, I'm not gonna make it.
Wait, after you hit the 26?
No, I'm at like 25.
Oh, okay.
And I literally, my body was like,
So
Shutting
it's
down.
a mile.
it was
point
beyond
two
my
left.
mind. It was beyond my prayers.
Yeah.
It was like, my body was like, you're finished.
No.
You're not going to do this last mile. Your body
Now,
cannot
you go
do
through
it.
all 5 barrels, right?
You run through all 5 boroughs,
So
yes.
you started Staten Island, you said. So now you said you're at
Staten- yeah.
25. So where are you at?
Oh,
at
we
25?
ran through Brooklyn, through the Bronx. We did all that.
Grand
Now we're back
Compton.
in Central Park.
Wow.
Yeah, all of that. I'm at 25, and I'm literally, I could feel I could feel myself falling to, like I was gonna fall on the ground at
Right.
25. I was literally like, this is terrible. I've made it this far. I cannot do another mile. I'm gonna die right now in
And what do
Central
they call
Park.
it? They call it the wall? It's like a wall.
Oh no, the wall's at mile 13. I hit that
You
wall
hit the
too.
wall, dude.
The mile happened on the Queensboro Bridge.
Oh,
that's
you
when
down there.
then when you hit the wall.
Oh.
That happened to me. I'm on the Queensboro Bridge. It's freezing. It's cold.
Okay.
I hit the wall.
All right,
I'm gonna die.
Describe to people with the, because I've been trying
The
to
wall means I can't run one more step. I'm gonna die.
right.
But then you still have 13 more miles to go. So I get to that. I hit the wall. I'm gonna die. I'm on the Queensboro Bridge. My knee hurts.
Right.
And you know, when people are running, you start getting hot, so you start throwing your stuff off. People are throwing T-shirts as you're running. So I'm on the bridge. There's mad clothes on the bridge. So I start thinking like I'm a MacGyver. I'm like, I'm gonna take somebody's T-shirt and wrap it around my knee to stop the pain. And then I'm gonna be able to make it past it. Like I literally was like. So I did that. I picked up something, tied it around the bottom of my knee because my knee was like swollen and I was already in pain. This is at 13. Oh, wow. I make it all the way to 25. Imagine that. And now I'm gonna not make it.
And this is not the wall, this is something else.
I'm a mile away and I can't go one more step. I cannot do it. Wow. I'm gonna die right now. I can't do it. I'm gonna just lay on the floor. This is what my mind was happening. I'm gonna just lay on the floor right here in Central Park and fuck it. It is what it is. I tried. Can't nobody front of me. I ran 25 miles. My body can't do it. I can't do another mile. I'm gonna die. I'm literally running and there was this lady, I don't know who she was, older black woman. I don't know if she knew me or she didn't know me, but it was like an angel. Right. I was about to die, and the lady was like, I see you. You're gonna be okay. This is in the middle of Central Park. This random lady.
That's your angel.
Oh, she wasn't a part of the marathon?
No, she was on the sidelines. Like
Did
just
she
watching.
have a shopping cart? In my mind, she had a shopping cart.
No, she was just standing there like on a barricade. But I was going so slow. She was like,
shopping
I see
cart,
you.
Guy.
I don't know why.
Why would she have a shopping cart? She wasn't homeless. She's not homeless.
You're a dick, man.
I don't know, in my mind. Is this how you said it? How she said it at this vision she had a shopping cart?
Mind you, there's people around me, but she's talking to me and she's like talking loud so I could hear her. She's like, I see you. You're gonna be okay. You're not gonna go down. You're gonna get there. You're gonna finish. And something about that lady like locking in, I was like, okay. I'm gonna do it.
It's like when we was in Amsterdam, there was a guy who drove by on a bicycle, and out of everybody,
I don't think it was just like it though.
I don't know if it's the same. I don't know if this is the same.
Something tells me it's not
I don't
just
know if
like
this is the
it.
same.
Out of everybody, is like this guy drives by on a bicycle, and he
How
looks.
high were you?
He
Scale of
looks
1
at
to
my
10.
friend Diego, and he says, "Don't do cocaine." and he keeps grinding.
Very similar.
It's like the same story. It's like the same exact story.
But the lady says you're gonna be okay.
You're gonna be okay. But it was like an angel. I swear to God. That's why I say no, God's real. Number one, God, there's no way I get through that marathon without praying my way through the whole thing. And then when I'm gonna fail, this lady is like screaming at me, looking in my eyes, telling me exactly what I need to hear to get me past that mile. And I did. I mean, I was like, the lights were going off, the people were packing up the bagels, like people were going home. And when I finished, like it was late, it was dark. My friends had finished 2 hours ago, they had to wait. But I made it across the line.
Was there other people though around you?
Like senior citizens and
Let's
like
make some noise for
handicapped.
Angie for being a goddamn marathon.
But we finished and we raised a lot of money. It was good. I did. But anyway, but now you can't tell me nothing.
And
Like,
congratulations on finishing.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
you can do it. Anything. You can do anything, really.
Is it because you one of them like strong-minded people, or it was the bucket list thing?
No, I'm strong-minded.
Okay.
When I'm locked in, you know what I'm saying? If it's something like, I don't. Nobody wants a L, right? Like, you want to push yourself. And I knew I was gonna have to push myself. It wasn't like a real thing, but it was a good exercise for me to know. Like, honestly, your mind is like way stronger than you think it is when you're put in that position that you have to be. You know what I'm saying? If you told me run outside right now 2 miles, I probably couldn't do it. But if you put a gun to my head and you were like, run 2 miles, I'm gonna fucking run 2 miles. And that's all, and that's your mind, right? That's you have to be able, you have to condition.
But wasn't it the adrenaline? Because the thing about it, like, I just want to be 100% clear with the people. It wasn't like Power 105 was supposed to like be the station to take Hotline down. Like, it was still secondary, right? Like, I mean, at this time, I mean, coming up, I mean, iHeart, later on, but at this point, like, this is how New York City was looking at it. Like,
back in the day,
it was looking at it like Hot was the A side and Power was the B side.
Yeah, that's always how the underdog starts.
Right.
They were the underdog.
Right. So did that have something to do with your drive of completing it?
It really wasn't about hot or power. It was about my own energy and giving myself new energy, giving myself
personal goal,
the freedom to try something else. And it's okay, no matter what nobody says, no matter what people's opinion is. I'm curious about how to do it another way. I've been doing it this one way for so long. I'm curious what's going over here. I was excited to work with the Breakfast Club, even though, you know, I liked what they were doing. I liked what iHeart was doing as a company. They were doing these big iHeart festivals, and I wanted to experience that too. And I didn't, and personally in my heart, in my gut, I didn't feel anything wrong with it. So I just didn't want to let other people's ideas kind of dictate what the rest of my career had to look like. Because listen, if you don't take control of your own self and your own destiny, and you allow other people to run that shit, that ship could take a turn and you don't have no control of it.
Absolutely.
And then what? So I was really like, okay, I'm gonna drive this ship. Like I'm gonna take control of this and do what I want to do. Otherwise, you could easily, you know.
So how because we spoke about like you seeing Jay-Z's, the rise of Jay-Z, and then now you work with Roc Nation, you have deals with Tidal and things like that. Was that easy for you to do that, or was that a process as well?
What do you mean?
Like just getting into business, because you get to see this guy, he comes up as an artist, and now
let's be honest. Jay's not coming to my meetings with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's his company, and I respect it, and he has been a good, like, I use my calls sparingly. Like, I don't call him for everything, but if something big happens and I'm really confused about something or I need help, he has been gracious like that to me. Like, I'll be like, I really want to run something by you. But I don't waste those on small things. You know what I'm saying? I call him when it's something I really feel, and he's always been good to me that way. So being with Roc Nation, it's not like Jay's hands-on with my career, but it's what he built. So it's this, you know, there's an integrity about what he's done. And there's an integrity about how he runs Roc Nation. And it's the people too, you know, they.
Well, I feel like that's the thing is, like, you said it earlier. You was like, we don't own stock in, you know, Hot and Power. But the thing is, like, with Tidal, it's like, we can't call anybody at Apple. Like, I'm talking about not,
yeah, I know.
You know, we could call, what's my man name? Larry Jackson. God bless him, he's a great guy. You know
but
Larry.
He don't own it either.
Yeah, but he don't own it neither. So, like, at what point are we gonna start doing that?
I mean, if you ask me, would I support Tidal before I would support Apple? Absolutely. Does it mean I wouldn't do some with Apple? No.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't we do that? We should support that in every way. I mean, the same way you sit here on Revolt drinking Ciroc. Like, you know, it's like,
God damn it.
Listen.
We on Revolt drinking Ciroc, god damn it.
I'm just saying.
God damn it.
We should try. I mean, it doesn't always work because sometimes what people build, it doesn't really connect. But when you can, we should support those. We want to have, you know, we should be able to have those platforms, and you know what I mean?
So,
yes, Nori.
Before we get out of here, I would like to, cause I seen you in the picture with DJ Khaled.
I really want you to say Khaled.
Khaled.
That's right.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
We've been correcting
Khaled.
forever, man.
I know, he's your friend. Like, say Khaled.
Khaled. And I would like, because I'm proud of the guy.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of the guy. I know EFN is proud of the guy. He's Miami's very
Does he
own.
let you ask any questions? Because I feel like he...
No, I'm just saying, when it's like us. When it's like us. But how crazy is the house? Holy moly, guacamole.
Khaled's house is insane.
Yes. It is.
And it's not so much that it's...
I feel like he told his interior decorator, kill Puff Daddy shit. Like, I'm just being honest. I just feel like he took his interior decorator as his friend. He's like, this is my friend Antonio. And he never told Puff. He never told Puff that this is, and he showed him every part of his crib and said, kill it in every aspect
My
ever.
favorite... I don't know if he did that or not.
I'm just being honest, in my mind, that's what happened. His nigga name was Antonio.
My favorite...
That's not his name.
No, I'm talking about the interior decorator who took the shit. I'm just being honest.
No,
in my mind.
His house is
I made that up.
beautiful.
No, it's a beautiful house.
But what I love about it is it doesn't feel cold. Like, you know, people make a lot of money and then they buy these big houses and it feels like a museum. It doesn't feel like a home. Like, his house feels like a home.
That's outside, inside. But
He's
it's
got a
still
studio.
outside.
Yeah.
But it's inside.
I know. And there's TVs and
I have no idea how to describe this.
it's pretty great.
The outside, inside?
It's outside, inside, but it's
But then
outside.
there's like family
And
photos
it's
all
inside.
over.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and listen, I don't know if you've been to Puff Crib, but Puff Crib, Scott Storch, same shit. They had their studio to the side, like when you walk in. And Khaled has this.
Oh, I went to that crib.
He has the same exact thing.
Yeah.
But he went to his interior decorator and said, "Destroy this shit."
It is very well decorated.
In my opinion, because listen, Khaled, and Joe is like in like the illest competition. Like it's like brother competition.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know, Joe has the $1 million Audemars baguettes. It's like $1 million. Like I brag about having a friend that has a watch that's $1 million. 2 days later, Khaled gets to protect. Khaled gets to protect.
Khaled.
That nigga.
I want you to go home tonight.
Well, he gets
Practice in the mirror.
I want you to go home and say Khaled's name 400 times.
I'm gonna say
tonight.
it one at a time. And in my mind, I'm like, I think he went to his jeweler and said, "Kill Joe shit." But then Joe
Stop
can't
it.
be mad at him because
No.
Joe taught him that level of competition.
Pretty much.
Joe put him under his wing from the beginning, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a fact. That's a fact.
I'm so happy and proud of Khaled.
I am proud of
I was
Khaled too.
Khaled.
I'm proud of you. One time for Nori for getting Khaled's name right.
Give me one more watermelon before we get up out of here. Let me get one more watermelon. But what is your favorite? What's your favorite? We ask everybody this. What is your favorite time of hip hop? What is your favorite length? Whether you was involved with it or not.
That's really hard to say. I mean, because as a fan, it was when I was a kid and coming up. That's what got me in it. It was 2 times, right? It was Rakim. That's a time. Rakim is a time. He's a period. He's an era.
And you interviewed Rakim.
I've interviewed Rakim a couple of
well,
times.
And you interviewed A$AP Rocky, who revealed that
He was named after
he was
Rakim.
named after Rakim.
And I
Also,
surprised
that
him and
interview.
introduced them together.
Listen,
That's
I'm
one of
also
my
a hip hop historian.
That's
You
one of
see
my
how I broke
favorite
that down?
interviews.
That was
You
hip
ever
hop.
seen
Come
that
over
one?
here, give me a.
No.
Oh my
Come over here,
God,
give me a.
it's dope.
Like I felt myself on that one.
You
Like,
didn't?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You Googled it, something.
Yeah, no. I saw that
You
live. No Google. There was no Google back then. That
Yeah.
was live on Hot 97.
Yeah.
And he brung his mother
That was
there.
one of my. No, he called his mother on the phone.
Okay, there. See, I'm on
Yeah,
point.
it was close.
I'm
You
on
were very
point.
close. You were very close.
I'm on point. You're my teacher. You're my sensei.
But I knew that Rocky was named after Rakim. He had told me that on my show, and then the next time he came, and this is to look at Rakim, how gracious he is. He wasn't promoting nothing. He had no reason to come, and I was like, I would really like you to come meet this guy. He was named after you. And he came. And if you know anything about Rakim, getting him somewhere
Yeah.
on time.
We're trying to get him on Drink Champs still.
And then on
Hey.
time, right? So it had to be at a certain time, otherwise he was gonna miss Rocky, would have defeated the whole purpose.
Right.
He came on time, he was so dope and humble, and that's what I love about him.
Right.
Number one, he's to me one of the greatest ever
Yes,
to do
that's
it,
a
right?
fact.
And then also he's super humble, and he's just my brand, my type of rapper. Like
God MC.
he's what made me fall in love with hip hop. Like
Yeah.
That's an awe moment.
that was like a brown sugar moment, right? That was like a brown sugar.
Are you gonna take the rest of your shot? Let's
All
take
right,
the rest.
fine.
All right.
I'll do the rest.
Solid.
Okay.
Before
so
we get up
sweet.
out of here,
But
is
wait.
there anybody that you like hated and then you like?
You ask people questions and you don't let them finish
I'm
the
sorry.
answer to the questions?
I am very guilty of that. Can you finish?
Anyway, it's finished. I'm over it.
No.
Rakim was probably personally one of my favorite eras. Then also I
Oh,
enjoyed.
the eras, yes.
I very much enjoyed the Black Medallion. I was very much like a Tribe, Leaders, Jungle Brothers.
X-
Native
Clan?
tongue era.
You said Black Medallion, X-Clan?
Yeah, like I think of that. Yeah, all of that. I was into all
Native
of that.
tongue?
Native tongue,
Okay.
all of that was
Like the
definitely.
Afrocentric era.
Like I know probably all the words to a Jungle Brothers album, like all the words. Me and Mary will do. By the way, Mary too.
Yo.
Me and Mary will line for line could do a Jungle Brothers song for you, like line for line. No, still know all the words. So that time, but then as in my career,
Right.
there's too much good stuff. I don't know.
You gotta have one moment though, where it was like, what was the moment that you knew that this was for you?
I mean, different ways, different times. I think the Pac interview made me feel like I could do things that could matter.
And how old was you during the Pac interview?
24.
Wow.
It made me feel like, I could actually contribute to how things get presented and how things could be shaped and I could actually help or hurt, or it started making me understand that. But then there's a couple of moments. After I had a baby, I was feeling disconnected.
Okay.
And then when I came back, that was when the R. Kelly Jay-Z thing happened. Remember that at the concert when R. Kelly, the peppers, he got all
Pepper
that.
spray.
And then both of them came to my show in the middle of the night. Remember that?
Oh, and he had left McDonald's or something. R. Kelly
No, what
went to-
happened was the show ended. R. Kelly broke out. Jay had to finish the whole concert by himself.
And that
I'm
was-
in
it
the
was him
parking
and
lot.
Jay and friends.
By the way, I just come back from maternity leave. I had been feeling disconnected. I was like, I don't know if I love this shit anymore. I haven't had a, I was feeling like, eh. And then I was in the parking lot and Mike Kaiser called me. He was like, yo, Jay wants to come to the station. And now it's late. It's not even my shift. And he's like, but he only wants to talk to you. So can you go to the station? He wants to meet you there right now. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, of course. This big thing just happened at the Garden. R. Kelly broke out.
And
There
this
was
is
the
like
rumors.
pre-internet. There's no Twitter.
Pre-internet, but
Yeah.
everybody's talking. Everybody's
Yeah.
outside the concert. I'm at the parking lot, going to the parking lot, and Kaiser called me. He was like, Jay wants to come up. So I called whoever's on the station. I think it was Big Dennis, and I was like, listen, I need to get on.
Right.
You could stay, but you gotta get off the air because Jay wants to come and he wants to talk to me. So anyway, we worked all that out, and then Jay came and he gave me the whole story. But it's the middle of the night. Everybody's tuned in. This big thing just happened at the concert. And then while I'm there, I get the call that R. Kelly's listening and R. Kelly wants to come now.
Wow.
Yeah. So now it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm on the radio in the middle of the night. Everybody's listening because the shit just happened at the Garden.
Right.
And I told Jay, I was like, R. Kelly wants, he's like, you could talk to him. We're just about done anyway. So Jay-Z tells his side of the story and he leaves. And then like a few minutes later, R. Kelly walks in and I do the R. Kelly side of it. It was so crazy. The whole thing was just so crazy that I was like, this is my shit. Like, this is so good. Like I just felt like I'm good at this.
Right.
Like I'm good at this.
Right.
I felt like even now if I go listen to that interview, I was like, I wouldn't have changed anything about what I asked, how it happened.
No, you're
like,
fair as shit. You're fair as shit. You're fair as.
but but you also when you love what you do, sometimes when you're putting like whatever you do, if you play baseball and now you're at the World Series, you're like, this is my shit. This is what I came to do. Like so when you have those big moments and those big interviews and you deliver, it gets those juices going. You know what I mean? You feel and so that brought me back to work. Like that was like post maternity leave. I just came back. I was just starting to feel like myself again. And then that interview happened. And I was like, oh, this is let's go. Like I'm back. Like I felt like I had been.
Was that your favorite interview?
Nah, it wasn't my favorite, but it just.
Do you have a favorite?
No, I don't have. That's too hard. I don't know.
Yeah,
So many.
I say the
It's too
same
many.
shit.
Have you ever felt as a Latina that there was ever anything against you being Latina?
That's a good question.
No, not. You know what? What I noticed, because if you're from New York, you know that if you Puerto Rican and Black, we grew up in the same way.
Right.
There was no separation. Like
Right.
I didn't even realize that outside of New York things were different.
Right, but when you walked away from New York and
So in New York, it's not a big deal.
Because that's crazy.
Because I'm Puerto Rican,
Right.
and Puerto Rican and Black, we grow up the same. We go to the same corner store.
Yep.
We talk the same.
Right.
Everybody smokes Newports. Everybody like it was like we lived the same life. So there wasn't a real separation. I know it was in different cities. It wasn't like that, but it wasn't until I got on and then I would travel
right.
that people would be surprised. Like,
Right.
oh, who's this?
Right.
I remember one time I was somewhere, it was early in my career, I just started traveling a little bit,
In LA?
hosting parties. It wasn't even LA, it was in another city, and somebody said to me, who are you, Lisa? And I was like, Lisa? Because that's the only reference of a Latina, even in this space that they ever had. It was such a weird, and I was like, wow, people, I didn't realize until I went out of town that there was, but in New York, that was never a thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I love, and Salam always says this, Salam just said this to me, I saw him earlier, that he noticed that after I had, become something on the radio, that he noticed that a lot of radio stations across the country started putting
Employing?
like an Angie Martinez.
No,
in there.
there is still to this day. I was gonna say that to you. There's still to this day, like
An Angie
that
Martinez.
effect everywhere.
Yeah.
Like actually,
But
it's called the
that's such
Angie
a-
Martinez
I think
slot.
that's- yeah, you should be proud of
like
that.
when
No, it's
I
amazing.
speak,
Are you kidding me? That's like the most flattering thing.
like when I speak to independents and I be like, yo, so they're like, oh no, in LA, there's such and such. Oh yeah, she has the Angie slot, and I'm like, okay,
That's pretty great.
and that's dope.
It's amazing. No, it's
You
amazing.
created that,
Thank you.
goddammit. You created that. So I would ask you what's the proudest moment, but you know, this is Drink Champs. So what is a moment that you wish you could have took back?
Oh God.
What was the worst moment? It was like,
I don't know if I have a good answer for this question because
okay.
I hate the answer because I always ask people this question and then they're like, you know, everything happens for a reason, so I don't regret.
Yeah, this is Drink Champs. We take shots.
No, but
We
I
take
really
shots.
believe
about to
that.
say that.
I really do believe that.
Yeah.
But it's such a shitty answer that I never want to say it. But it really is the truth. You learn from every situation. I'm sure there's things I would have done different though. I don't know. I can't think of one right now. That's a whack answer. I know. I'm sorry. You could edit that part out.
No, we don't edit shit.
You don't do no edits?
Nah, we try not to as
Oh, good.
little
The
as
pee breaks.
possible. We had the guy Rory here. He tried to edit, and it didn't go right for him.
Yeah, because he tried to.
He tried to edit. It did. The thing about it is, we want to be as raw as it is, and I want to tell you, you know, to your face, when it comes to media, like I was about to say you're my godfather, but I gotta remember, you're the godmother.
Thank you.
Because I've said this a couple of times, but I want to say this on our platform. I remember me and Angie. I just finally had the #1 record because I had the NRE that hit #1 on Battle of the Beats and hit #1 on Hot 9. But I was on the road. But when Super Thug hit #1, I was in New York City, and I remember this like it was yesterday.
I love that.
And you called me up and you was like, boom. And I guess you know like. When a person hit #1, they like the boringest interview, and I guess I was this energetic, and you was like, oh, okay, you built for this, and you said to me, yo, I'm gonna get sick on Wednesday, so you're gonna fill in for me, and if it wasn't for
That's
that,
dope.
so I went, and I remember it was because I remember the
I love this story. He's told me this before.
the number for Hot 97, and I don't remember if I knew the number because I was practicing, or I knew the number because I used to be thirsty trying to call in to get my record played. But I remember her just putting me in that position, and that's the very first time I actually got love to interview somebody, to deliver information. I always wanted the information to be delivered to me.
Yeah.
And you saw that in me, and I know you didn't really know.
Yeah.
But you did really know because you're like a guru.
No, there's a thing. I could see that in people sometimes. I'll see like, I don't know, that you could, because you have to be able to command a conversation and deliver and have a perspective and not be afraid to have an opinion. Or I don't know, just be engaging.
Yep.
So there's people that could talk all day,
Right.
but talk all day and who cares?
Right.
But then there's people who could talk all day and then you paying attention for some reason, something about your delivery that keeps your attention, and that to me is what we all strive to be able to do.
Right.
So sometimes I could see that in people, whether it be on air or off. Even Joe Budden too. We saw that early in Joe.
Right. Right. Big him up too.
Yeah.
Goddamn, make some noise for Joe Budden.
Joe
Goddamn. Make
He
some
always
noise.
had that. He always had that too.
Make some noise for rappers transitioning, because you know, for so long it was either you have a jump shot, or after your career is over, it's done. It's done. That's the
Which
reason.
is so whack.
That's whack for our culture, our community.
How do you grow like that? You don't have a perspective. You can't only have one perspective. Like,
I
you know what I'm
was
saying?
terrible.
Like, you have to be able to have an OG perspective too. And I know you hate the word OG.
No.
But like, you do have to, it's a balance. It's like, we
we need
spent all
to
this
be
time
OGs.
to create this culture that you're just gonna leave it in the hands of the inexperienced.
Right.
You want to give the inexperienced and the new the opportunity to grow and have their own lane, and that's great. But you don't want to negate all the lessons and all the things that we have learned, and also to be able to elevate it and pick people up behind you.
Mentorship,
Yeah, the big homie, little homie program is very important.
Me and EFN, we've advocated for us to have a hip hop union, meaning like, let's suppose.
We ain't organized enough, unfortunately.
You know what?
Not yet, anyway. But
I think with Nipsey's passing, I think this is
Nipsey would have been somebody to help lead
Yeah.
Right.
something like that. Yeah,
because the thing about it is, like, if KRS gets sick right now,
I know.
I don't believe that it's on the responsibility of his family. I believe that he gave hip hop so much
that he should get something back.
that, I mean, not even get something back. His bills should be taken care of. He should have no worries.
Yeah.
Do you believe in that?
Of course, I
theory?
believe that. I wish we were that organized, and I've heard people have this conversation over the years. But like, who's our leader? Like, I don't even know how that happens or how
I mean,
get
we
to
do have plenty of
organize.
leaders that could execute.
I think Hov and Nas
and I think-
should give the money to David Banner and Killer Mike.
It's not. They don't have to
trust
give
them
the money.
niggas.
They don't have. They can create the
Like, not
platform
to-
that
to-
the money
to
goes
allocate
into.
the money.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should
I
be
trust
like a
Killer
SAG.
Mike.
I think SAG is a perfect example of what we could create in hip hop right now.
Yeah. Think
Because
so?
SAG at all levels, you could
But
be
who
the
would
biggest
run it?
actor and
Who
you could be the
runs it?
lowest. Well, that's the
Yo,
thing.
there is another thing. They sent me a letter the other day. I felt offended. They said this is my retirement fund. What's the name of the company? I don't even.
Sonny? Sonny runs that company?
Sutra. It was something. It's the SAG.
The Kama Sutra?
It's the SAG of music business.
something
And they
else.
hit me. They say, "Yo, listen. Here's your
Oh, not
sutras with an S.
No, I don't know what that is.
It's something
Sound
like that.
exchange? Or?
Sound- yeah, I was thinking sound exchange.
No. This got nothing to do. This got shit to do with your retirement, nigga. like,
Is that a thing?
Yeah, this is a fact.
I
Huh?
don't got one of those.
CSAC.
I don't know. That's
Not that bank that you could sell your publishing to.
No.
Oh, okay.
God damn it.
What's happening
We're all
here?
over the place. I
a real thing.
have to pass you the blunt because I pass everybody the blunt. You can say no.
thank you.
You can always
I'll
say
pass.
no. You go. I gotta pass everybody, but I've
No, I'm
been
good.
passing Fat Joe a blunt for 21 years.
He won't take it?
You know how he hit one time,
He did.
but it wasn't a blunt.
What was it?
It was a vapor.
Oh.
What
Nobody was
And
there.
it was
Word.
weed in there?
It was weed in there. He had a
I should have
toothache.
poured a little CBD. I enjoy a CBD pen.
CBD is
It's not
phenomenal.
the same thing.
CBD is phenomenal.
No, it's amazing. I'm ready to like advocate for it and all types
Oh,
of
yeah.
I'm good. I got a company for you. Don't worry about it.
stuff. Okay,
I got a
great.
company for you. We say it off there.
Okay.
Definitely. But listen, I just want to tell you that we appreciate you. We love you.
Thank you,
You
man.
have been holding down.
I got more to do, Nori, you know?
No. But guess what?
Okay.
We want to salute.
You act like I'm about to
It's not a eulogy. It's not a
Oh,
eulogy.
yeah.
No. But the
Something
thing
has happened
is,
to me.
no. The thing is, it's so corny when people big people up
Stop
afterwards. I want to big you up while you're here. I wanted you to
Thank
tell
you,
you,
baby.
like, to your face, like, I appreciate you. You saw something in me it was damn near 15, maybe 18 years ago. And you told me, fill in. And I just wanted to be on Hot 97. I had no idea but that moment
Planted
leads
the
up
seed.
to
Yeah, planted
this
the
Him the
moment
buzz.
right
The
here.
way you got the buzz.
I
And
love
the
that.
thing about it is, you've been relentless. You've been resilient on what you do. Don't worry about it.
that's a part of our show.
When we had beef with Elliott Wilson, we used to call this the Elliott Wilson train.
Oh, got it.
Because every time something deep happens, like, "Arr!"
He
But
sent it?
we are in a great,
Place,
we're
good.
in a great place.
Good,
So
good.
big up Elliott Wilson. It's not called the Elliott Wilson train no more.
Okay, good.
We call it the adjacent Elliott Wilson train. It's not him, but it's adjacent. I'm just playing. But in our world, it's so corny, like, to big up the next person. And I want to change that. I want to change the narrative of that. I want people to sit down and say, you know what you do and what you did and what you've done is remarkable.
Thank you, man.
And I would like you to know that. I would like you for you to
Are you trying
feel
to make
that.
me cry on
No,
this drink trips?
no.
Has anybody
That'd be
ever cried
amazing.
on drink trips?
Yes,
Has
Bun
anybody-
B.
Bun B.
We went
Talk about putting
DMX, Jim Jones.
Where did Jim
We
Jones
got
cry?
three. We got
Why did he cry?
Oprah.
No, it was because it was in the middle of the Cameron thing, and
He cried. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I think I remember that.
He
I
cried
did-
on our show?
Yeah, he cried on Flex first, and then we had him the very next day, and
He cried again.
yeah, but they're a great place. So big up to Jim, big up to
Yeah.
Cam. Kiki Free did not cry.
Oh, I had a laughter because of the.
Okay, you know,
Never mind that
Kiki
stuff.
Free ruined my childhood, right? I
do you mean?
don't know if you ever knew this story.
Nobody wants to hear the
No,
story.
Come on, leave it for another day. Leave it for another day.
All right, we're gonna end it with this one.
Oh, you're gonna tell us the story.
I got one record. I got LA, and maybe TRY is like coming out a little bit, right? So I'm on the road with Akinelli. Akinelli's on the road with Kid Capri. So Ak don't smoke. I'm like the wankster, even though I'm the guy who smokes. Like they're like dancers and they people who don't smoke on Akinelli's bus. So I'm fucked up. So every stop, I want to see Kid Capri because he smokes. So we stop on. Kid Capri just Kid Capri says to me, "You ever seen my tape?" So I'm like, I'm thinking he gonna play me some DJ shit. Like
terrible story.
Everybody knows where this is going.
I'm nervous.
So
This is like a
so I'm
porn,
thinking
porn
he can
tape
bring,
or something?
I'm thinking he gonna make me some tape, like, like,
It's something like that.
So I would go in this room, and he got Sega at the time. Like at the time, I felt like, holy shit, this nigga got Sega and weed. Like he don't want me to leave.
He's
right?
he's my best friend.
But little did I know, he said, "You ever seen my tapes?" I said, "No, I haven't." And he plugs in the tape. Well, I'll fast forward a couple of parts. But he ended up with his legs like, in the air.
No, wait, don't do it. Don't do
it.
Why would he show you that?
I'm like 19 years old, I'm scarred. I'm like, and this is my favorite DJ, this kid can play. And I'm sitting there.
Is he mad that you tell this story?
No, he
No, he
cries.
told us to his face. He
told
told
us
us
to his
to his
face.
face, yeah.
But he's like that, he literally with his shit out. And he's like, yeah.
Don't do that again. Don't you dare do that again.
Never make that noise again.
Yeah, don't do that again. Yeah.
But he's like, yeah. And from that moment on, I was scarred. I would never ever.
This is horrible. This is a horrible
Yo, you're
story.
leaving her on a terrible note.
This is how we're ending my episode with this?
I'm so sorry. I felt like
Give her another big up speech before we end
No,
it.
no more. I can't take it.
I felt. Yo, but listen. From that moment on,
Can't take it.
I've never been to another man's room in my life. Like these, like, yo, come on, smoke. I'm like, yo, I'm good. Like, cause I don't know what you're gonna show me. I went too far. That's okay.
You went too far.
I went
Dory.
too far.
Oh my God.
So, Ange, you
Yes.
came, you hung out.
I did. I enjoyed myself too. This was
Thank you for joining
pleasant.
us.
Yes, and you have your own show.
I do.
This is like your 1900 show. You are be getting money for a long time. Goddamn.
What do you mean? Oh,
Damn, 1900.
Goddamn.
I
And we're
know.
gonna make a show together too.
we are gonna do that.
We're gonna
We have a
bring
great
back,
idea. We're gonna make it happen.
Don't say it here. I like that. That's that.
We ain't gonna for somebody to beat us to it. You know, we move slow.
Yes. That's very
Somebody
true.
will beat us right
That's
to
very
it.
true.
No, it's a good idea.
So,
Yeah.
what is your favorite part of the industry before we get up out of here? What's your favorite? Like, what do you can't deal? Like, what you can't live without?
I like the idea of that, like the opportunities are endless. And I like that we've been around long enough to see what, to watch somebody like Khaled go from a DJ to what he's been able to build, or watch watch Jay and what he's been able to build, or, just the different how you've been able to evolve.
Chameleonaire, Nas, like so many people.
Yeah, and I just saw Snoop the other day. I went to his compound and looking at what he's
in
built
LA?
in LA, and I just feel like
His shit like Scientology.
his compound. No, it's
Yeah,
kind of amazing.
Yeah,
it's really
like
inspiring.
Scientology. Like you feel like
Snoop
you're about
is
to.
incredible.
You know what Scientology?
Have you
is?
had Snoop on? You've had Snoop.
Yeah. We
had
yeah,
Snoop,
he's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just feel like I never feel like there's not another thing I could do. I'm always chasing something else. I'm always, and the opportunities are endless, right? And so we could always grow. There's always, even if I just was doing radio, right? And I didn't have these TV aspirations and things I'm trying to do in different spaces. Even in radio, there's always a new artist to kind of understand and a new thing happening within the culture. It's just a forever evolving thing. So it just never gets boring. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always, I don't know, it's just always growing and always, keep going.
Okay, so when we interview every artist, we go
Yeah.
through the discography.
Oh God.
And that was something that when you walked in here,
Yeah, you were playing Take Me Home.
we were playing your
Me and
old
Khalees.
music, and your face was like, what are they doing? You literally look
I
like,
have to
what
stop
the-
doing that. I really have to stop doing
Yeah, you
that.
gotta
Yeah,
be
you
proud
let
of
me just
your
say something. I used to be
material.
like that.
You were never like that.
With
like I am.
reggaeton. At one point, when I felt like I represented for reggaeton, I
Yeah.
felt like reggaeton didn't represent for me, I was bitter.
Yeah.
So I hated everything that I ever did. And then I realized, fuck these guys, accepting me or not, I accept me.
Yeah.
And what I did is history, and I accepted that. You think you'll ever be there?
It's different for me, right? Because
you really, like, you walked in here and was like,
Because I always compare it to like when you like somebody busting out, like let's say everywhere you went, somebody pulled out your junior high school photo. You'd be like, please stop pulling that same photo. Because to me, that time I was like it just feels, and also I didn't have the luxury of. I was already on the radio, I was already doing stuff. So by the time I started doing music, I'm a baby. I'm literally writing my first 8 bars ever. Like I'm learning how to do this, but in public.
But look at it like this,
So,
if you didn't do it, there wouldn't be a DJ Khaled.
Khaled, man. What?
Because he was, you had to be his inspiration.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I didn't get a chance to. So we did the first album, which I think was, was okay. Second album, we had If I Could Go, it was a top 10 hit. But I don't feel like I gave myself the chance to evolve to the type of artist that I probably could have wound up becoming. And so because when I hear it, I hear the babiness of it. I hear like a fresh new artist who doesn't, I'm still learning.
You didn't go through the normal
I'm still
evolution
learning.
of an
I'm not
artist.
as good as I could have been or eventually been, right? And so when I hear it now, that's all I hear. It's like, I don't know, it bothers me. But I have to get over that because what I realized, I gotta get over it because what I realize is that there are people that connected to it. So I'll meet some girl, she'll be like, well, I love this song on your album. And I'm like, you did? And I don't want to take that away from her because you know what I'm saying? Because of whatever my things are. So I really have to stop doing that.
And you know how classic Ladies Night is?
Ladies Night was classic. Yeah.
Super classic.
Yeah, Ladies Night was classic. That was the first thing I ever wrote was my verse for that.
Wow.
Like I never wrote anything in my whole life until I wrote my verse for Ladies Night. Before that, I've only been on one other song, and KRS-One wrote it for me. So it was like I did that with KRS. That he wrote it and was just like spit this, and I was like okay. And then the next time, Lance was like, I want you to put you on. Was like I want to put you on Ladies Night, and then I had to write a verse.
Oh, I always thought that was your record. That was Kim's record?
What planet are you on?
I'm on a different
That
planet.
was Little Kim, Not Tonight, the remix. That's Kim's record. I was only on 8 bars on the intro. That's all I was on.
No, you killed that. You killed it.
Thank you.
You killed that. I always thought it was your record.
It's not my record.
And that's what launched your career in that
Anybody
sense,
else thought
right?
that was her record?
Totally launched me. You thought that was my record?
Yeah.
That was 8. I was only on 8 bars, the intro. And then what would happen was because the other radio stations would hate, because I was still on the air, the other radio stations would play the record without my 8 bars. And I would be like, yo, that's some real sucker shit. Even Z100, like the big pop radio station at the time.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not even your competition. You're pop. Why are you cutting my verse off? Why would you do that? Like mad stations did that across the country. They would cut my verse off of the song. It was Kim's song. And they put me on at the end. And I was happy to be there. I didn't care.
Right.
I traveled. I did the MTV Awards with them. We got nominated for a Grammy. It was crazy.
Right.
Off of 8 bars. My first 8 bars I ever wrote, I got nominated for a Grammy with them.
Yo, Angie, I just want you to know you're a super legend. You're a super queen in this game. We love you so much. You represent hip hop. You represented how to do business. I swear to God, like, you and Floyd was the first people, like, I realized, like, yo, put yourself before the corporation and put your family before it. And the thing about it is, I just want you to know you're appreciated. I want you to know the dynamics. When I thought of everyone's top 5, I've interviewed not one of them.
Really?
No, but I'm only 3 years in this game.
Yeah, you got
But
time.
when I think of everybody's top 5, there's no one's list of top 5 that you haven't had. Like, anybody, name your top 5. I don't know, you're a little weird. Come on, 'cause the way you looked at me.
The guy with the Star Wars shirt?
Now I kind of like,
Harris.
KRS-One.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Tupac, Biggie.
And
Rakim.
Yeah, yes,
okay.
and yes.
That was 4, but go ahead. Name your top 5, Paul.
Redman, Ice Cube, Big Daddy, Lauren, and is there another one?
That's a very interesting list. That was 4 again.
Yeah, that was
Everybody's a little one-off.
Especially when you ended
interesting
it with
list.
another
Strangle
one.
people at night. All right.
By the way, yes, and yes.
Go to Boris. I want to hear Boris' top 5.
Yo, what's your top 5?
Andre 3000, Tupac, Jay-Z. I'm younger, so Kendrick's in there, and
No, I haven't done Kendrick.
I haven't done Kendrick. Oh.
We almost had Kendrick one time.
Okay, we got one more.
That's
we
the
got
only
one more.
one. There was once or twice we were supposed to,
Yeah,
and it
my
just never
man,
happened.
come over here, cause listen, I'm gonna be honest. You gave me baby powder.
By the way, Kendrick, it's time.
Yeah.
You gave me baby powder. What is your top
Eclipse
five?
Eclipse Oils.
Gotta say Pop.
Uh-huh.
Got Too Short. Easy.
Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee, the guy that goes to the bathroom with cups.
Easy E's on your top 5?
Yeah.
And who else? Wait, what was the last two?
8 Ball and MJG.
Both of them are take the
Easy
two
E?
spots.
Easy E, yes.
You interviewed Easy?
Wait, didn't interview Easy E because I was not on the air yet.
Wow.
But met Easy E and partied with Easy E.
Wow.
And because he was with Steve, I don't know how Steve Rifkin knew them or whatever, but when I was coming up and me and Steve were cool, and I don't know, we were at a party, introduced us, and we all hung out, and then, so it's funny because I still have a business, Easy must have gave me his business card. I still have Easy E's business card. Like,
That was a floss.
I
That
still
was
have
a floss.
it. No, I have
That
a few
was
of
a
them.
floss. Oh my God.
So I have Easy E's business card. I have Branson's business card. Still.
Damn, he had a business card?
Another floss.
No, he had a
Another-
business, and it was like
Yeah.
music industry executive is what it says. It says Branson, and it has the
I
number.
believe it.
I have
I'm
that.
buying.
I have a pack of Newports that me and Pac smoked. I have they have the box that has like a couple cigarettes in it. I have like a couple of key
So
pieces.
you have a
of-
museum basically.
No,
I'm about to say,
it's
are we
not much,
opening-
but I have a couple of key little.
It's gonna go in Nas's Hip Hop Museum.
Yeah, you know Nas is
I love that he's doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
hip hop.
Nas, I
museum.
got a few pieces.
Yo, he
Right.
looks. That's
Wait,
dope,
hold on,
what he's
time out.
doing.
You got the Newports that you smoked with Pop?
Yeah.
Okay, are they Newport Lights or Newport regular?
Oh,
No,
God.
regular.
All right, I need to know that.
No,
I
they
need to
were
know what type of
regular.
nigga Pac was.
And they had
Cause if he smoked lights, I was gonna have a different opinion.
and it had like one turned over.
Oh, he had a wish.
I guess.
He had a wish. Holy shit, Pac was a real nigga. Okay, all right.
This is what it took for you to feel that.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I need. That's all I
All he
needed.
needed.
That's all I needed. So what's the worst moment?
By the way, I keep little things like that when I feel like it's a moment. Like even when
Okay.
I have a little thing that Chris Brown once did on a piece of paper, like a piece of art. When Tekashi 6ix9ine was on my show, he was explaining to me the meaning of 6ix9ine. And
Okay,
it wasn't
what is the
and
meaning
it
of
wasn't
that?
what I expected. And
What is
so
it?
he took a piece of paper and he wrote the number 6 on it, right? And he was like, "What do you see?" And I was like, 6. And he was like, "What do you see now?" I was like, 9. And he was like, "See, you just saw something from 2 different perspectives." And he talked about how you could see somebody who does a robbery and you could look at them and say, "Oh, he's terrible, he's a criminal." But if you flip it and you see them in a different way, you can see this is a father who's trying to feed his kids, he's broke, blah, blah, blah. I'm paraphrasing the story, but it was about being able to see people in different ways. And I thought it was so dope and interesting that I kept
y'all. He's a good talker.
I kept the napkin. I kept the little napkin where he wrote the 6 and a 9 because I thought this was like I just felt
hip-hop
something in that
memorabilia.
moment. So I just found it the other day. I was like, oh, this is the 6ix9ine napkin, and I put it with my other stuff and I kept it. But I have like little things like that I'll keep if I feel like it's a moment.
You ain't got anything from Jodeci for some reason. I feel like you got like a KC or JoJo something,
I have
do-rag.
I do
You
know.
know he got. You know he got.
Durag.
Let me tell
Why
you
would I
something.
have that?
Let me just tell you something. He has a tennis ball from KRS-One from 1986.
Shut up.
First of all, it wasn't 1986,
When
man.
KRS-One first came here,
No,
he has a.
it was like 92.
In my mind, it's 86.
He used to throw tennis balls with his signature on it.
Oh, at the party.
At the parties, yeah, at his shows.
Who
At
the
his shows.
fuck remembers that? He
No
has a
clue.
tennis ball.
No, I brought it to him when we interviewed him on the show.
That's
All
the
right.
craziest thing.
All right, this
is
is-
my son calling. I have to answer.
Okay, on air?
You want me to?
That's
no,
hard.
no, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay,
to
no,
you.
no, on air.
Hi, baby.
Oh, this is different.
You okay?
We in.
I'm still here. We're wrapping up right now.
It's
I'll be
Mama's
back
Day
in a
coming
little
up
bit.
too. All right, this is
Are you
real
okay?
mama shit. She's at Drink
sure?
Chef's Mamiana.
Okay, I'm on my way back. I'll see you in a few minutes.
I killed that.
Vamos, let's wrap it.
Listen, you
Mamiana.
can't- Hit- I gotta pick up with my kid. I don't
Oh,
care.
that's so. Let's make some noise. So, Ange, I thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you, baby.
So, is there anything you want the people to know before you leave?
When's the next book coming up?
You got two
book?
books. You got two books.
I do have 2.
One
but
about eating healthy Latina.
Latina cooking, yeah, health, eating what I did with. But then I have my memoir, which is that was like a real book.
Right,
Like
that was a
it
book.
took a long time to write.
Right.
I would do it again. I'm writing. I'm actually in the process. I probably shouldn't say this yet, but I'm in the process of changing the book to a script.
Eating healthy Latino? Oh,
No, remember, come on,
that's
man.
What
Come
the
on,
hell would I
guy.
make a script
I
about
was gonna say,
a cookbook?
I want to be in the movie. Like, I want to try to eat healthy too.
The movie.
Yeah, the movie.
We were in a movie together. You didn't even talk about that today.
That's right.
I
It's
was
very awkward.
I was Tuesday.
You was Tuesday. Very awkward because like we developed this brother and sister relationship.
Yes.
And then Dame Dash and then we're in this movie. And it's like, okay,
Get in the bed together.
get him.
I was like, well, I'm leaving, I'm wearing a robe. I'm not gonna wear a nightgown, I'm not gonna wear nothing, I'm wearing a robe in the bed. And we're gonna do that, we're gonna put a pillow here in between us. It's gonna be perfect.
And we also did Paper Soldiers as well.
Oh, Paper Soldiers, that's right. That's crazy.
Let me ask you something. And I
So maybe
promise
there'll be
this-
a role for you in the movie.
No. Let me ask you this, and I promise this will probably be the next to last question.
Okay.
I
Because
didn't
my
wanna
kid
say
is
the
looking for me.
last.
He's like, where you at? I know you're on Drink
But
Champs,
did you
but
ever
come on.
think Rockefeller, like when you seen, like, you know, the Dame and Jay was that? You ever thought that you would see it here now?
No, I don't even think anybody how could anybody see that?
Right.
But I definitely could feel that it was not like anything else. Like how they were moving and the shit they were talking and, and the big vision that they always had. Dame was always like, we could do that ourselves. I could do that. Honestly, that was very like influential to me. Like, I don't know if I even give Dame enough credit for that because watching him make those movies, never had making movies before, and he was like, fuck it, we know the culture better than anybody else, we're gonna make our own movies. That was really like inspiring to me and made me see
And
things.
bold.
But it made me see things in a different way. Like,
Then it's possible.
by the way, it's all possible.
Right.
You know, that was like, and Dame was good to me too. I remember we did, I was supposed to do American Idol one year. It was the first year.
Yeah, what happened with that?
What the fuck? I do remember that.
Is it true that you just didn't like turning down?
I was very uncomfortable. The whole thing was really weird, and they wanted me to be this like, you're
Like the
terrible,
mean
and I
girl?
just was like, I just wasn't feeling the whole vibe
Yeah, I can't
of
be
it.
telling a lot of people they whack in their face. I could tell you whack behind your back, but like in your face. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings in their face. You was gonna be the Latina.
That's what they
Simon?
wanted
That's
me
what
to.
they wanted you
I
to
think
be?
they wanted me to be somewhat like that, and which just wasn't me. And I was also pregnant at the time, which they didn't know, so I was already emotional about it, and whatever. But anyway, I'll tell you why I didn't do it in the first place. But when I got there, I needed stuff. I needed we were doing the runs. I went out with them on the road the first couple of days. We did the trials, the rehearsal, and whatever. And I had hit Dame because Rockaware was popping. I was like, Dame, I need a box of clothes. I'm doing this thing for American Idol. He was like, what? And he gave me this whole lecture about, this is great for you, you should do it, but you're gonna be around those people, it's gonna move fast, people are gonna try to get you to change, keep the same people around you, because if you go into Hollywood and you start doing that, you're gonna change, don't let people change you, keep, and it just stayed with me, like, make sure you keep people around you that keep you who you are, that you don't get lost in a whole other world. And he gave me a lecture on it, that always stayed with me also.
Like having Mr. Lee and Sonny around and fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Take your cups into the bathroom for you.
Because Mr. Lee will bring your cup in the bathroom and Sonny will break your cup in the ground. Right
But
there.
listen, this is what happens to people, right? Even rappers or artists, you come from a certain place, you handle yourself a certain way, and then all of a sudden you get these opportunities and these other spaces, and all of a sudden you're around people that are not from where you're from, and then all of a sudden it changes your perspective and you start moving different. I get that. And so it's important to keep people around you.
Stay grounded.
It's not just to stay grounded, but I guess stay grounded and give you that right perspective
And a certain authenticity
just you
to what
can't
you've
lose
been doing.
you could lose yourself
Yeah.
when you get to certain, and I watch it, I've seen it happen to many people.
No.
I know many famous people, and I watch many famous people float off into this world and they're gone. And I don't know, I thought that was just dope advice, and he cared so much the way he gave it to me that I just always, you know what I mean, I appreciated that.
Has there ever been anybody fronted on you, and then they
All the
got
time.
and then they get they got washed up, and you was happy about it? Like
Never happy. Nah, I'm never happy about it.
I went too far.
That's the petty in you. That's the petty.
Yeah, I'm not
I got
petty.
Plenty of cases. Cause you know how many people I seen come and go. You know they be looking at me like I'm the washed up nigga. Like, go ahead, old man. I'm like, nigga, you know how long I've been here.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, all right, cool. And then they're the man that year. They got their gold fronts.
But here's what's whack. You don't ever wanna. Karma is. I believe in karma, right? So
Yes, me too.
somebody does me something dirty, I go, you hold that. You hold that karma. I'm gonna go and keep it pushing and try to do what I gotta do. But when the karma comes, because it always comes, I make sure that I don't rejoice in whatever
'Cause that's equally
negative,
karma.
because then that bringing me back into it. And I see that with people happen
Oh, you
all
don't
the
spike
time.
the ball when you see something like
Nah,
that?
I don't do it. I don't do it because
Like
then
sometimes I do. I'm
no,
gonna be
I'm very,
Like sometimes
I'm
I
very
just,
particular about my energy.
I just
like,
go on certain people's Instagram and be like, all right, he's still hurting. Fuck that. Let's go. This nigga
You're not very
ain't get up.
Buddhist of you,
This
my
nigga
friend.
ain't get up at all. All right, cool. All right, yeah,
Nah, I
sometimes.
can't do that. I'd be afraid of God. I'm afraid to have those type of thoughts because I feel like God see me and he'd be like, oh really?
No, I don't have those thoughts, but I look and I say, okay.
That's
It's
a
not-
thought and an action. That's
it's
two
not-
things
it's
worse,
not- yeah,
actually.
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
just a thought, it's an action. It's two bad things.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I'm guilty.
I'd be afraid to let myself go into a negative place like that because I feel like I will be punished for that. I feel like then my karma is going to come back to me. So I'm very careful about that. So I just let people have their thing. And sometimes I'll have a problem with somebody and somebody will come back around and be like, you see what's happened to them now? That's what they get. And I'm like, please don't bring that. Don't bring that shit over here to me. This happened recently, by the way.
That's me.
You do that?
Yeah, I'd be like, yep. You heard what happened, right? Uh-huh. I told that nigga you should have came. That's me. I'm gonna be honest. I'm
That's
sorry.
you?
Yeah, that's me. I'm sorry. I'm petty. All right, listen, but you know what got me?
What?
Like I had to start realizing that sometimes you just gotta be petty. Listen, out of how many seconds of the day there is, you allow 12 seconds to hate.
That's a lie in the
Who
ridiculous.
told you that?
It's
Just
not
12
true.
seconds to hate on some shit. That's it. Only 12 seconds a day.
All right,
You
well,
just
then
say,
guess what's gonna happen to you? 12
That's your
seconds.
religion?
no, this
12
is
seconds
it.
of it's gonna come back to your ass at some point.
No, that's why it's 12 seconds. You just get rid of it. Then after that, you never think
Is
about
this
it
a
again.
scientific? Like, how did you come up with that number?
This is how I call it. I call it blow. Fuck it. Blow fuck it.
Blow fuck it?
Blow fuck it. And just,
It's not a real thing. It's
12
not a real
seconds?
thing.
I'm just being honest.
Nobody at home take this advice. This is terrible advice.
No, I definitely didn't tell them to take my advice.
All right.
I'm telling you, this is just my advice.
Yeah.
Like,
12
I like to
seconds.
go to Costco's.
You can be a piece of shit for 12 seconds.
No, I go to. That's it.
Yeah.
You're allowed 12 seconds to be a
You're
piece of
not
shit.
allowed.
No. I'm not telling you to to put it on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not telling you to put it on social media. I'm saying 12 seconds of your life. If you wanna sit, because my man right there, he got on jorts, right?
He does. Oh my God.
He has on jorts.
Wait, we gotta time you.
No,
No,
12
not
seconds right now.
Jordans, jorts. Like shorts.
Jorts, jean shorts. Now in
shorts.
New York,
Those are not shorts.
those are jorts. Jorts.
Short pants.
It's called jorts.
Those are short pants.
Yeah, your 12
And
seconds
in
are
New
up.
York,
No, that's it.
and in New York, they're frowned upon.
You are 24 seconds of petty right now.
yeah, you went too
24
far already.
So
That's 30
in my
seconds of petty.
mind, when I looked at his jorts, I hated him. I hated his,
Is it
but
the
I
wa-
like him as a person.
Is it the walk?
He got a good heart.
You got a good. That's why you covered up. Yo, man.